Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Richard Lewis Show. I'm your host, Richard Lewis. Joining me, as he always does, is, of course, Sam Davis, the producer extraordinaire. Sam, you're back from Gfinity again, aren't you? You're there every week at the moment. What the fuck are you doing there? What are you hiring?
Replays, so I do Street Fighter, CS, and Rocket League. So
right.
Counter Strike's just the most hectic one. It's like a 12-hour day, and I've got to have a replay like every round. But I'm just grinding some cash out, mate. Welcome
to my world.
Yeah, exactly.
The old 12-hour day plus.
Yeah, I did have a couple of 18-hour days. That was always
and if you complain, everyone goes, yeah, but I'd love to have that job. So you can't complain about doing an 18-hour day. Then, right, this is the thing. You're like, all right, well, I won't complain about it. I'll take pride in my job and I'll work incredibly hard. And then people go, grow up and get a real job. You talk about video games. That's not a real job. You can't win. Yeah, you can't win. Can't win, can you? Well, I'm sorry you're having a tough time, Sam.
It's all right. They're nice to me. It's good.
Yeah, and Gfinity's good. They look after people. And obviously, we're going to get into doing a super long show because we've got loads to catch up on, mate. And we're about 11 subs off the T-shirt giveaway. Do you want to start by? We've had some more people buying merch. And obviously, we do say we like to show them on the show to thank them for their support. So, by the way, I've also come since John Scarce is missing.
Yeah, I know. You see all the comments like Scarce.
Yeah, I just clocked that now. Basically, I just threw a flannel shirt on for no fucking reason. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm doing all right. I'm I'm losing a bit of weight, you know. So I thought, why not? Why not wear a curtain with buttons on the front? You know, why not? So anyway, so who've we got?
Hang on, let me queue them all up.
And let's thank.
We've got a donation. I can hear it happening.
Oh, okay. What's happening?
$20 from Gravedigger. Reasonable name.
Reasonable name. He's digging the grave.
Cheers,
that's
mate.
perfect.
Thanks
for that, Gravedigger. Yeah. Cheers. Well, hang on, what did that say though? There was a message there. Didn't it say something like girlfriend of 3 years left me or something?
I can't hear it. Hang on, I'll boot it up now.
Yeah, boot it up. I want to see that message.
All this, man. Fucking hell. Our shit's going wild. It just keeps you.
I know, everyone. It must have been
calm down.
Yeah, it must have been pocket money day. Everyone's like, give it all to Rich so he can buy some decent clothes.
Right.
So what was the
donation says? Please, Lord. It says, girlfriend of almost 3 years just ended the relationship not 3 minutes ago. Fucking hell. Have a couple of brews on me and let's make this a fucking great show. Love you guys. Thanks for all the content and hard work.
God, here we go then. I've got a bottle of rum here.
Well, reasonable. Guess he's smashing the brain.
It's to your fucking deceased relationship, mate. All right. Bruh. Okay. No, Jack Sparrow.
Show off some t-shirts.
Yeah, let's show off some t-shirts.
Right. First one is Corey Sayers, who bought 3 t-shirts. Nice guy. Just on a completely unrelated. When I went to school, there was a brief period of time. I don't know if this happened where you went to school as well. This was in the Northeast when I moved. The word Corey was slang for penis. Did that ever happen? No, I don't think so.
He's a right Corey. People used to say that, but he's a right Corey. I'm not saying thanks for
Corey.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't know if we should bring that back. Actually, thinking about it, but yeah, whatever. Thanks for the t-shirts. One of each.
Dick Sayers, nice guy.
Dick Sayers, nice.
Roger Painter, mate. Do you remember the CS legend?
Yes, Paint. Yes, definitely not a cheater. Definitely not a cheater. Definitely not got a ton of bands. But yeah, Paint's a fucking legend. Watches the show.
Legend.
Absolute animal as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen him down a pint of vodka before. I'm not saying he held it in there. There was projectile vomiting. Yeah, but it went down. So mad credit to Paint.
Spectrally with the fucking what's it called? What's his name again? Phantom. Ambassador Phantom. There we go.
Ambassador Phantom. Yeah, he said even Crankor approved. So obviously Crankor, just for future reference, Crankor is the planet. That's Ambassador Phantom from the planet Crankor. We should get that clip up actually, because there'll be new people who've never seen that. I'll let you dig that out. We'll just randomly drop it in the show. Are there any others?
Yeah, Philip. Fuck YY, not bad, with a mentally ill shirt.
Not bad. Brain power shirt. Yep, brain power.
Yeah, sound.
Grow the fuck up.
I don't know what we're scared of. Who's going to stop us from making mentally ill shirts? Is there some sort of academy? The
powerful mentally ill lobby. They've got friends at high places. They're the ones who've been stopping the electric car, you know.
Fucking hell, great.
Yeah, so we're in trouble, mate. I don't want to get fucking suicided like that guy. I've just got these... I've just got these emails and this testimony to deliver about what the Clinton Foundation did in Haiti, and I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. So I don't want that to happen to me. I'm not going to mess with that particular lobby. Let's just leave it there. I'm sure. Of course, that's just a joke, of course.
Please don't kill us.
Please don't kill us. We're just joking. 100% strange, though, isn't it? 100% strange. I saw a fucking hell of a meme the other day, by the way, and it was the top killers in America, and it was like heart disease, 700,000 people a year, cancer, 500,000 people a year, and then like below it, it was like testifying against Hillary Clinton, 135,184 people a year. So there you have it. So, and of course, Circa, who supported the show for fucking ages, looking good there, slim. Nice I like the way that the A hangs over the nipple. See, good, nice,
always great. My favourite.
Always good. When the A hits the nip.
With a big mug. Mug.
Nice. Big Didn't mug.
And then today, fucking big man Vince, mate. The artist formerly known as Metis.
Indeed. I don't know if this is going to be like when Device changed his name to Deva, and it's not going to stick because it's always going to be Metis for me. I'm going to try, Vince. I'm going to try for you, brother.
I'm going to try and call your name, but I'm not sure.
That's the thing. Vince is one of them names as well. It feels like an anachronism, like it's like being in the 70s, isn't it?
Is it?
Do you know what I mean?
No, not really.
Well, right. When was the last time you saw a baby called Vince? There you go, right? You don't see babies called Vince, do you? No one looks at a baby and goes, "I'm calling that Vincent." You call it. Exactly, it's one of those names that died like back in the 50s or whenever. I'm not saying Vince was born then, obviously, but you wouldn't have thought anything of it. You would have gone, we've only got like 10 names, haven't we? So one of them's Vincent, so you're Vincent. That's how it works. But now we got all the names. Kanye is a name now. No, we didn't have that, did we? We didn't have a Kanye 50 years ago.
Directions now.
Yeah, so there you go. So Vince is probably start. It's like Richard will die out eventually. I mean, maybe not actually, because Richard is a fucking baller name, innit?
I don't know. It's just certain names are going to just be ingrained forever, innit?
Nah, listen, right? Richard means like strong one or born leader in something in Celtic, and obviously you can abbreviate it to Dick, which I think is fucking great. I think that's great. So I'm all right with it. But Vince, it doesn't have that same sort of, I don't know what Vince means. I might have a look, actually. Let's just do that, and then we will start the show. Like, this is a terrible start to the show. But let's just have a look. Vince meaning. Here we go. English meaning. The name Vince means conquering.
Yeah, it means unison as well, I'm seeing.
Oh, yeah. Vincer, I suppose. If you go in Latin or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's actually all right.
Not bad.
Not bad. It's better than Sam, which I believe is just Latin for bent.
Mine's just out of the Bible, mate. My mother just took a stab. As like, I don't know if God's real, but just in case he is, I'll name all my kids after that.
Yeah, not bad. Right. So let's start with some didn't happens. I got. I was going through the That Happened subreddit, as I like to do, and there's some absolute fucking ridiculous stuff on there, right? Do you want to start with this? The old fucking Fedora Explorer, right? Here we go. This was called Women, the Hero, you all need. And obviously it's ironic because I can tell immediately by the fact he's wearing a luminous green and grey striped tank top with a sort of grey fedora. It's a Trilby fedora, right? Look at this, right? He says, this is what it looks like after one hell of a fight. Like, I mean, maybe there's some bruises on his face, but they've had to obscure it, as is the rules on Reddit, because you can never be held publicly accountable to things you say in public on Reddit, or that's like doxing or something, or murder. I forget what Reddit classify it as these days. Anyway, this is what it looks like after one hell of a fight. What a fucking damn day. I was on the bus and some girl was on her phone. She seemed stressed and almost yelling at the person on the phone, even though she tried to mask her unhappiness in public. I could tell something was wrong.
All right, Darren Brown.
Yeah, guy's an empath. Like, it's like that fucking the bird in fucking Team America. I am sensing you are sad.
Yeah, I feel you are upset.
I treasure our friendship. Right. I went over to her and introduced myself to her. She whispered it was her asshole boyfriend making demands and asking where she was. So I acted on impulse and took the phone away from her and spoke to the guy and told him to quit his shit or else. He still wouldn't. So I invited him to come down to the nearest stop and talk it out with me. When he got there, right? I mean, this guy has a working knowledge of the bus stops in his area. I want to say that. He might be a terrible boyfriend, but he knows public transport. You know? I mean, that is a fine quality, in my opinion. You know, if I said to you, right, I'm at the number 52 near Edgemond Street, and you go, right, yeah, I know the one. Yeah. Fucking hell. You're all right, mate. You should get a job working for the fucking bus company, you know? Anyway, when he got there, he tried to throw a punch. He just immediately gone in, hasn't he?
Immediate digs.
Couldn't possibly, like, how did he know who the guy was? Do you know what I mean? Like, what, he just throwing a punch at the cunt in the fedora just because? I mean, that might have had nothing to do with a phone call. Just might have thought, yeah, look at that cunt. What a mug. He tried to throw a punch, but I deflected his incoming attack with my briefcase.
Of course he got a briefcase.
Of course he's got a briefcase. He's been watching Falling Down. He's fucking mental. And by now, the whole bus is watching. Why is the bus just on standstill? All right, what, the fucking
watching these two cunts larp.
Yeah, what's that, mate? You're getting off to have a fight? Yeah, I'll just put it in. I'll just put the handbrake on. You all want to watch this, yeah? But I've got to go get my fucking medicine. Shut up. Shut up.
Watch them scrap.
Yeah,
my money's on the fat kid.
I'm a bus driver, also called Vince.
Taking side bet.
There's only 30 Vinces left on planet Earth now, and 2 of them are in esports. So, and I'm the bus driver, Vince. I'm going to watch this. So the whole bus is watching, and the girl is nervously standing by, like what, like a fair maiden, you know what I mean? Oh, a jewel for me? Oh, I shall surely bed the winner, right? I decided enough is enough and say fuck it and punch the dude square in the face, and everyone cheered. Everyone cheered. They all cheered. So the bus driver has been completely derelict in his duty. The bus driver's been completely derelict in his duty. He's not even driving a bus now. He's now doing one of them tour buses. And over to your left, you will notice a fucking pleb in a fedora having an imaginary fight. Yeah, but that didn't happen. So everyone cheers. Yay! I mean, they don't even know the context of the fight. What did he do? Did he go around? Here's your fight program, right? Just so you know, the guy who's about to turn up, he's the baddie. I'm the goodie. He's the baddie, right? So if I win this fight, like, it's basically natural karmic justice playing out. So just want to make you aware of that.
Let it
you know?
unfold, please.
Yeah, but, you know, if he wins, you know, maybe you might want to boo and throw rotten fruit at him, which I've just conveniently handed out to you now, which I just carry in my briefcase, right?
A fruit salesman, but business has been slow.
What a cunt, though, this guy is. I just serious. Irredeemable cunt, and he. Anyway. Right. So, everyone fucking cheered. Hopefully, the douche learned his lesson to give his girlfriend some respect. But anyway, she gave me her number, so maybe they won't be together too much longer. 2 emojis. One's a wink, the other's an open mouth with a tongue sticking out. Cunnilingus, perhaps, is that subtext? I don't know. Icing on the cake, my friend. What a cunt. Like, straight up, mate. Never happened, has it? I mean, that is massive, didn't happen. That is a massive didn't happen. But, you see, there's 2 types that didn't happen. That's kind of the middle class, white boy, well-to-do. This is what we do, isn't it? We have fights over girls, don't we, in the real world? But Jeremy, you've never been in the real world. Yeah, but I read about it once online. And if I tell a convincing lie, I too will get that hero pussy that those Neanderthals out there in the real world do. That's what he believes. Now, if we look at the kind of working class didn't happen, because there is a hierarchy of didn't happen. There's different types of didn't happen. Hopefully, watching this show, you've learned that. There's different types of didn't happen. This is what a working class, salt of the earth didn't happen look like. This is what happens when somebody who I'm going to assume not of a particularly good educational background. I might be wrong. I don't want to make wild assumptions. Hopefully you'll agree with me after the didn't happen. But this is what happens when they do it didn't happen. It's a little bit different, but it's got all the same elements of a classic didn't happen. So here we go. This one, again, off that happened. This is called I Shit You Not, a Beautiful Hunting Story. And you can see here, ha, ha, ha. What I love about this is, it's like, because at the end of the story, everyone laughs or you're laughing, one of the two. I like the way that you open the story contextually with the laughter that's going to happen at the end. But just to show everyone how real it is. Ha, ha, I'm even typing my laughter. I'm laughing so much. Right? Ha, 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 friend and friend. I shit you not, right? So again, definitely not a lie. If you say I shit you not twice in the opening sentence, it can't be a lie. I shit you not. I went out hunting last night. 2 swans, 1 bullet. I shit you not.
Is he playing COD 4? So doing 360s in the woods?
Mate, I'm fucking more interested, right, in that YouTube video. We all saw 2 girls, 1 cup, 2 swans, 1 bullet. Sexy. Chocolate ice cream for all, and everybody vomited. That's how that story ends, isn't it? The 2 girls, 1 cup didn't happen. And then she shot Mr. Whippy style into a cup, and everyone was sick. That's how it ends. But anyway, I shit you not. Then 2 police officers come up to me and said, "Sir, you know
undercover swans."
Sir, you know it's illegal to shoot swans. I mean,
how do you know? I know.
Yeah. Why would any police officer assume that? It's illegal. I don't actually. That's why I'm shooting them. Is it legal?
They were just knowing me big and fucking in my face.
I mean, it probably is just illegal to be in a public place, just straight
killing animals.
I think just to take a little deviation, because I do like a deviation on this show. I fucking hate swans. I do.
Swans in the entire face,
Yeah. I mean, right. Do you know what I mean? This is how you know there's no divine creator out there, right? Because you make this beautiful, majestic bird. I mean, they are beautiful to look at, right? You think, wow, look at that with their graceful necks and, pristine, white feathers and wonderful wingspan. And they're pretty graceful in the way that, they'll fly down and land on the water, almost seamlessly transitioning from flight to sort of swimming. No movement. I mean, as you can tell, I've spent a lot of time looking at swans. Whoa,
you dirty bitch.
Oh, look at that majestic. Right? But
look at its neck.
Yeah, look at the snack on that. Right? So anyway, they're pretty beautiful creatures, but their personality's garbage. I mean, they're all cunts, aren't they? I mean, they're just the most needlessly leery animal on planet Earth.
Cunty.
Yeah, you'll just go up to them hey, do you want some bread, Mr. Swan? What?
So unreasonable.
Sorry, I'm just trying to offer you some bread, you mad cunt. You see a little baby swan, I'll go feed the baby swan. It's breaking my arm,
Yeah, I reckon the reason is because everyone said not to kill them. So they think we can't kill them, so they think, I'm fucking top of the food chain around here. I haven't been killed by a human once. I haven't seen anyone get wrecked.
thing, isn't it? Like, yeah, you're probably right there. There's something to this. As soon as it was like divine mandate in the UK, because like swans belong to the Queen or whatever the bullshit is.
I know.
Swans belong to all the other birds. You can kill them in season, but swans belong to the Queen. You ever seen the fucking Queen eating a swan, like 6 foot fucking drumstick? Like, you know, it never happened, did it? Didn't happen. So anyway, yeah, all of that fucking time giving them this false sense of confidence. It's like the rich kid at school. Yeah. You don't hit him because his dad's a lawyer. And he's like, maybe I am tough and scary. As soon as he goes out into the real world, blow! One bullet, 2 swans. So I'm not even saying it's, wrong to kill swans, because I think they do need a bit of humbling. They need to fucking
maybe just a couple of digs. Maybe just slap a swan.
They need to wind their neck in, is what they need to do. Like, wind that big, long fucking neck in and calm the fuck down. But just the idea of it as well, like, it can't be true, but I hear all the time that, and a swan can break a human arm. And it's like,
I've heard that loads as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. It can't be true, like. They can't be. They're cunts. They'll have a peck and they'll have a flap, like. But like, surely.
I don't know, because I can't like certain animals' tails break arms. If a tail can break an arm, a fucking wing or something, or
I'm just gonna say.
I don't know they break it with.
2 things. If a swan breaks your arm, you are a mad cook. You are cooked for life. I'm just saying that, right? Maybe you might want some self-defense lessons. But here's the other, and also drink some fucking milk. Get some calcium in your system, mate. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're all vegans. That's why, man. Just getting wrecked.
Yeah, a vegan might get battered by a swan. I'm not,
oh no, they're so peaceful.
Don't hurt the innocent swan.
Not all swans.
Yeah, the swan don't give a fuck about your love and appreciation. It will peck your fucking eyes out if it gets a chance. Fuck swans. All right. So anyway, this guy could have been a hero. He's lying, of course. He's straight lying. But anyway, so I shit you not. I went out hunting last night. 2 swans, 1 bullet. I shit you not. And 2 police officers come up to me and said, "Sir, you know it's illegal to shoot swans." I said, "I don't give a fuck." Now,
got him.
Classic people, not a lot of people know this, but actually there's a legal loophole where if a police officer comes up and says what you're doing is illegal, if you say, "I don't give a fuck," they can't arrest you. Did you know that?
Yeah. It's like if you ask them, "Are you a police officer?" they have to say, "Yeah, I am."
Yeah, it's totally true. Totally true. So they just come up to you and they go, "Excuse me, you do know that you're stood over a twitching corpse holding a bloody knife. And you can't kill people." Don't give a fuck. That's how Jeffrey Dahmer
let him go.
That's how Jeffrey Dahmer got away with it for so long. He just said, "I don't give a fuck." Like, fucking rat.
And then one day he gave a fuck.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It was the day he gave a fuck that they got him. That was that. So anyway, all right, I said, "I don't give a fuck." Then they said, "Watch your language." I said, "No."
Got him.
"What you gonna do? Put me in a police van, are you? You fucking pair of twats." Now, at this point, right? At this point, I've got to say, this is, these police aren't really doing their job, are they? They're not. They're probably not fit to be police officers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Right, what you gonna do, you fucking pair of twats? And the cops are like looking at each other going, "No, we can't do now, can we?" He's got us. Like, he's straight got. He's just basically running around with a gun murdering swans in our backyard, and we can't do fuck all. He's too hard. He's too hard, Sam. They can't stop him. He's too hard. He's too hard. He's an hard bastard. So anyway, I said, "What, you're gonna put me in a police van, are you? You fucking pair of twats." Then they walked off. And I shout, "That's what I thought, you pair of spineless cowards. Keep walking or I'll boot you pair straight up the arse." This guy's out of control. This guy.
Yeah, because I know what I do. Just as I got away with a crime, I'd be sure to taunt the police officers as they leave.
Perhaps even a rousing chorus of "nah, nah, 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 nah. Hey, 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 goodbye." Cops love that when they slink off. Fucking hell, I really wanted to arrest him. Can't.
Got me now.
Can't. I'm a coward. Yeah. So there you go. I mean, like, this is the working class didn't happen. You know, it's very similar. It's just that it's coming from two perspectives, isn't it? You know, you've got the perspective of the person who hasn't lived a day in his life, and therefore he exaggerates things that are very ordinary, but you can tell they're kind of like based and anchored in movie-like fantasy scenarios. This one, you know, is, well, what if I got away with it? What if I killed swans and got away with it? And then what if I could batter police officers and get away with it? Yeah, they'll love that down the dog and duck. They'll love that. And that's what you get, you see. Both of them the same, but slightly different. Two types. It didn't happen. Right, now let's just get this out the way, because this is probably the last of the comedy. Hope you've all been enjoying the comedy. Hope you've all had a good laugh. Oh, my sides, Richard. Yeah, this is going to be a Trump-heavy episode, by the way, so you might want to laugh now, cry later. But look, so there was this. Worst headline ever, I think. Quite possibly. It was in the Daily Record in Scotland. I got linked to this by a friend. And this is definitely the worst headline. What happened was there was a whiskey factory, the John Dewar and Sons, and somebody has done what's known in the business as a dirty protest. Now, a dirty protest isn't where you go on a march and have sex in front of people. It's not that. A dirty protest is where you shit and leave it somewhere to show how upset you are with something. And to be fair, a dirty protest is pretty good actually in that sense, isn't it? Nothing says nothing says I am not satisfied with this situation more than just and like, I'm so upset.
I find it has most effect if you keep eye contact while you do it.
Yeah. So this whiskey factory have had to launch an investigation to find out who has done the shit in a control room office. The headline in the Daily Record, "Poo done it." You see, instead of "who done it," "poo done it."
Classic banner.
Classic banner. That's just, look at that. I said the laughter would dry up. Poo. Bosses at whiskey factory launch investigation after dirty protest on work floor. Bosses at a world famous whiskey factory have launched a whodunit probe after human poo was left on the floor. Managers at John Dewar and Sons in Glasgow are grilling factory workers in a bid to identify who left the mess in a control room office. Sources claim the dirty protest comes after bosses at the plant, owned by Bacardi, instigated a security crackdown to stop workers helping themselves to booze. Now, in that sense, I got to say, dirty protest was a bit fucking out of control, wasn't it? Like,
you won't let us steal.
Yeah, your boss has said, can you stop stealing our product? And you've gone, well, this is the fucking last straw.
This is outrageous.
Yeah. And down they come. Just sliding them down to knee height so you can get away quicker. I'm so glad I had that Vindaloo.
I can't pull in the knee height, mate. You got to take them lower, and that's an amateur move, because otherwise, if you shit, you're going to piss yourself as well.
Why?
Because that's just how the bowels work sometimes, mate. If you're squeezing out a fucking brown load, you're gonna piss yourself.
You're telling me every time you have a
Not
shit...
every time, but I'm saying it's in a nest, you know what I mean? Might as well take the precaution. Why risk it?
Right, well, first of all, I mean, like, yeah, sometimes shit does lead to a surprise piss. You're absolutely right. But even then, you can just go the whole hog if you need to.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've got to pull them all the way down. Yeah, but you don't want to pull them halfway down, squat, and then piss yourself, and then you've got to pull up pissy pants, mate. Come on. Think it through.
Don't you... But you would know you were about to piss.
Nah, but what if you don't? What if you're just going full hog, just trying to squeeze... What if you're in the office trying to squeeze before the manager gets back?
Well, again, you can also angle the penis back like a tail, so your shit sort of runs parallel to your string.
Yeah, you could actually get some more speed. You might even piss on your own shit, and then you've just got a double protest.
That's nice. That is the dirty protest.
Just piss
shit
up the walls.
I don't know. There's lots of people in the chat saying every time they poo, they pee.
See, I told you.
That's weird. That is.
I think that's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Probably not every time, but like most times.
Thing is, because you're sat down, aren't you? So
yeah, you might as well while you're there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your brain probably just goes, you might as well. But I like to think if it was like in a proper emergency dump, like, you're in Wrexham and you're coming back from a night out drinking and you just want to go in the street because you're from Wrexham, which is, just to be clear for all those who don't know, all Wrexham is famous for is people shitting in the street. That's it. That's all it's ever achieved. And Wrexham is a disgrace. The street shit, as I call them. And I'm going to make that trend. I'm going to make that stick. So anyone from Wrexham is known as a street shitter. I've got the platform for it now. My entire life has been building up to this moment. But yeah, I think I've definitely had some poops without a pee. So just putting that out there. Anyway, back to this poo done it, this mystery. The firm yesterday branded the stunt. It's not really a stunt, is it? Like a stunt, right? Is being on a motor. Like jumping over 50 double-decker buses is a stunt. Having a shit on an office floor is definitely not a stunt. Right? You don't.
Yeah, I don't see people buying pay-per-views like.
Yeah, but you don't go, fucking hell. Nah, it's a bit dangerous that actually having a shit over there. Can we get a stunt double in? A train stunt man do the shit. Fucking hell, he's pulling his trousers all the way down. You were right, Sam. So the firm yesterday branded the stunt disgusting and said a thorough internal probe. Phrasing. Said a thorough internal probe would be carried out to get to the bottom of it. They're having a laugh, aren't they? They're taking the piss at all of it. They said no contamination of any of their famous products took place.
I bet you would say that.
Just in case you were like, well, I'm about to drink the poo. Well, it's not really like that, is it? They didn't do a shit on a bottle. Then just look at this, Sam, right? Can you explain the point of this to me? They've took a photo of the poo.
Yeah.
But pixelated the poo out. So it
just brown.
Just looks like the surface of the moon. It's just the surface of the moon. I knew we didn't land on it. It's fake. It was just poo all along. It's ridiculous. Why have they done that? It just defeats the purpose of the picture. Well, is that to protect? Well, no one's been charged with the poo yet, so we must pixelate the poo. It's ridiculous. Gotta say as well, there's no way he did that one quick. It's dark, it's thick, it's heavy.
He's been boozing the night before.
Guinness, that is. Actually, no, because it generally tends to loosen me up a little bit, Guinness. So. Putting that out there. It's like being 90 all of a sudden. I'm just talking about my bodily functions and all my dead friends. That's like what the show's about. Why are you reading the obituaries, Nan? See if I'm in them. Brilliant. Anyway, so there you go. There's the poo done it. Right, let's get into some sensible shit. Well, more sensible than just laughing about poo for fucking half an hour. So, Slate. You know Slate.com, don't you?
Yay.
Right, now Slate, if I remember rightly, used to have Christopher Hitchens right there. Now, Christopher Hitchens, one of the great, journalists of modern times, tragically died younger than he had to due to cancer in his esophagus. But, leaves an incredible body of work, including his articles at Slate. So I always judge Slate based on that, knowing that they published Christopher Hitchens, that he chose them as a home and decided he was going to sort of make that his chief publication. So whenever I see them producing stories like this one, it just makes me sad inside, really. There's no getting away from it. So, obviously, as anyone who follows the podcast knows, there's one thing you've got to do if you're in the liberal blogosphere. If you want to get traffic, here's what you do. You have to talk about Trump. And it doesn't matter what the topic is. Ideally, if you can find something else that's trending and somehow merge it with Trump, that's the winning formula for clicks. So, for example, we've said in the podcast, fidget spinners are the ultimate toy for the Trump era. They're not. They're a fad like anything else. Trump happens to be the president at this time. There's no correlation between the two, but you're going to pretend there is because people want to click on things about fidget spinners for some reason. I can't even believe that we're still talking about fidget spinners. I thought that was like a 1 week thing. But loads of people are going, yeah, look, it's really great. Like, you're just making a thing spin. Like, you're just a dickhead, aren't you? Sorry. Like, maybe you've got some valid medical reason for that, but you look like a dickhead regardless. Just saying, putting out that, whatever your reasons, you look like a dickhead. But that's the kind of shit that the modern liberal blogosphere pulls, because they've got to moan about Trump, but they might be a tech journalist or a games journalist. But that doesn't satisfy them in their pathetic little withered, souls. Like, yeah, but I wanted to cry about Trump today. You could just do your job. You could do that. No, but I want to cry about Trump. What if we turned a blind eye? You're completely not doing your job. And just somehow you write one paragraph where you bash Trump. Is that all right? Will you do that? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Stop killing swans. So... this article here will just, it's again, this has got grow the fuck up written all over it. So this in a segment called Expanding the LGBTQ Conversation, because obviously it's Pride Week. Liberals have turned Trump into a gay villain because our worst villains must be gay. Right, let that sink in for a moment. So that's sinking. Do you understand what they're doing here? Do you understand what they're doing? Because they're now trying to say some things that we made up to denigrate our president are now also so bad they're denigrating another group over here. It's the same people that's making this shit up, though, mate. So what happened was there was this thing called the G20, and Donald Trump went, and Donald Trump met Vladimir Putin, and they had a chat. And there's clips of like Vladimir Putin laughing at the journalists, going, "Are these the people that fucking were giving you so much shit?" And Donald Trump's going, "Yeah, they're cunts, basically." So you can see here, right? The New York Times had a column by a guy called Frank Bruni, and he published a work of fan fiction called Donnie and Vlad, A Love Story. Okay. And in it, he talks about, Putin and Trump being gay lovers. I don't know why this is a good use of a newspaper's resources and space. I don't know why they think this is a good use of a weekly column where you can talk about important issues that affect the LGBTQ community. But apparently it is. So as a result of that, Slate then come back and analyze this thing that's completely made up anyway. So, and this is how it works. It's like an echo chamber of just people just doing dirty protests, but they call it journalism. And then everyone goes, "Oh, look at all of this. We didn't write that, but let's talk about that because it actually addresses the things that we want to talk about." So they just do it. So the love, but the imaginary love. I got to keep stressing this, by the way, in case anyone doesn't understand. Trump and Vladimir Putin are not gay lovers, by the way. Just putting, if we can just agree that's, yeah. So they said here that the irrepressible, unrequited, and ultimately gross affection of the commander-in-chief for the leader of Russia. So it's not real. But how can something that's not real be gross? I don't get it. But anyway, they then links to a bunch of liberals who read the article going, young love, Trump must be terrible at blowjobs if it's taking this long. You remember, of course, Colbert said that Donald Trump's mouth was only good to be Vladimir Putin's cock holster. Yes, that is Stephen Colbert, who, of course, has ties directly to the Democratic Party through family ties. So, yeah, definitely the independent source of opinion that I would want telling me, about late at night. So they then start saying, well, this is bad, isn't it? This is bad to say that Trump is gay because why do our villains have to be gay? So, first of all, Trump's not a villain. Second of all, Trump's not gay. Neither's Putin. They're not having a gay affair. What are we doing? What is the fucking problem? Right? You'll see some of the replies here. Putin and Trump can go fuck each other up the ass with no grease and no kiss. I was prepared for Trump to kiss Putin on the lips. Wasn't ready for the deep analingus. You know, and at this point, you got to say this is just demented liberal fantasies, isn't it? I mean, you know, what are we even talking about here? But even though this abuse is coming from entirely liberal sources, this article then uses it to basically say, but you know, this is bad because it's a type of homophobia, right? So, which it isn't, by the way. It's not homophobic to just openly talk about two people who aren't gay being gay and maybe being gay. To speculate that someone is gay isn't homophobia any more than to speculate someone is straight, you know, or bisexual or anything else. We speculate what celebrities do with their love life all the time. But it doesn't condemn the liberals. It's trying to sort of skirt around it in this article. They're saying, yeah, homophobia is bad. Yeah, it's coming from you, though. It's coming from you guys. You're doing this. Stephen Colbert's doing this. So if it's bad, condemn them. Condemn the right people. No, we're not going to do that. We're even going to throw a caveat at the end. I don't think most people who make jokes about Trump being gay are personally homophobic. Interesting. If only we could have that level of nuance and understanding in your publication when it came to Trump supporters. Imagine a sentence. I don't think most people who support Trump are racist. Said no liberal ever. Right? Our language of homophobia and our language of civic virtue are unfortunately entangled. I do sense something peculiar, though, in the ironic unveiling of the president's erotic depravity, because Trump checks all the boxes of stereotypical gay weakness, except gay sex. There is a distinct pleasure in revealing him to be the full package, Putin's butt boy. That is what the joke ultimately allows. A simulated diagnosis, cheeky, clinical, or brutal, with all of the satisfaction of an outing and none of the culpability. Everyone is mentally ill. It's done. The human race is ill. We fucked up somewhere. I've never even seen people analyze somebody not being gay to this depth. Meanwhile, in other news, just another person trying to kill a Trump. Now, keep in mind that in the time since Donald Trump went on the campaign trail, he suffered 2 assassination attempts. We had somebody beaten to death because he looked like Donald Trump. We've had numerous threats made against Donald Trump and the First Lady. We've had celebrities calling for the assassination of Donald Trump. We had Kathy Lee Griffin go out and hold up a severed Trump head, tormenting the son of Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the children of Donald Trump have also been deemed to be fair fucking game. Oh, and we had some cunt go to the White House just having a sniff around, saying he was going to bomb it. All of these things, by the way, if you missed them, you could be forgiven for missing them, because these are the kind of things that the mainstream media don't want to report, because it might actually make you sympathetic with Trump. And we can't have that. We can't have that. We must absolutely not report on these things. So again, it comes as absolutely no fucking surprise to me that there was another person trying to kill a Trump just recently, and it didn't make the mainstream media attention. You didn't see this rolling news, but it's ridiculous, right? So here you go. This is in the New York Daily News. Right, just have a look at this for reasonable behavior that's going on, right? Bulletproof vest-clad Bronx man armed with throwing knives tries to reach Ivanka in Trump Tower.
What kind of fucking ninja is this?
He's the cunt who had the fight on the bus.
Shows up
July.
with the door.
It's July. This is like 10 days ago. This isn't in the news. Like, nobody is reporting this because it's perfectly fine to go after the Trumps. If somebody killed the Trumps, like the mainstream media would, any Trump, the mainstream media would have such a hard time masking their glee. Like, they'd have to imagine it. They'd have to act all solemn and pretend that they thought it was bad. Like, oh, bloody hell. Right? And look at this. People in the chat right now, I have not seen this anywhere. You will not see this anywhere. As I said, Donald Trump is one of the first presidential candidates on the election campaign that was subject to an assassination attempt, and it lasted a day. And then actually the same mainstream media are going, oh, but look, he's autistic and that. He's just disturbed, and he's trying to kill a presidential candidate. If you care about interfering with elections, oh, well, we'll get to Russia. We'll get to Russia, you liberals. We'll get to Russia. But you supposedly care about people interfering with elections. Sam, do you know what interferes with an election? If you kill the candidate! But, oh, we'll interview him. So, you said you wanted to kill Trump. Yeah, I think he's a bad man and that. Oh, Right, that's how we're treating it, are we? So here we go again. A Bronx man tried to get into Trump Tower to see the first daughter of Ivanka Trump on Thursday, but was stopped by Secret Service agents who noticed he was wearing a bulletproof vest. Adames Benitez, 52, had the ballistic gear on under his shirt when he arrived at the Midtown building around 4 p.m. He told the agents he was a U.S. senator there to talk to Ivanka Trump about her dress line and that he owned the building. It's Trump Tower.
Yeah, this mine.
Mine. It's got Donald Trump's name on it, mate. Wrong building. A quick search revealed that Benitez was carrying 2 throwing knives, a weighted sock. He thinks he's Ray Winston in Scum.
Full Metal Jacket on Donald Trump, mate.
All right. A weighted sock and a fake New York State ID card. He was taken to Weill Cornell Medical Center for a psychiatric evaluation. He is charged with weapons possession and having a bogus ID. And that's just it. It just ends, doesn't it? We just don't talk about it now. It's fucking, yeah. It's Trump, innit? I mean, they've all got it coming, Sam. I mean, they all deserve it, obviously. But again, why? It seems to me that could you imagine this happening to Chelsea Clinton? Could you imagine this happening to Barack Obama's daughters? This would be a bigger deal, I think. You know, but this is mad. I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say somebody turning up with a bulletproof vest, a fake ID, a weighted sock, and some throwing knives. I don't think he's there for a cup of tea.
I own this building, by the way.
Yeah, this is. I own Trump Tower. What's your name, Mr. Trump? You know?
Come this way, please.
So just ridiculous. How this, and again, you know, I'm saying it repeatedly. You have got to understand that there is a clear inherent bias in the mainstream media coverage where Trump is concerned. I am not saying I support him or everything he does. I am saying that this bias is very clear to anybody that lays it out, and it should disgust you. Whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, you should be appalled at the way information is being controlled right now to be deliberately kept away from you, so your opinions are basically funneled down this incredibly narrow line of thinking. And you should be appalled that that is happening to you. If you want to be critical of Donald Trump and you want to get him out of the White House, then you need factual information with which to do that. Your media are lying to you. They're not giving you factual information. They've been screeching hysterically about Russia for 9 months. There's nothing there. I'm going to prove it again. I had to deal with motherfuckers who don't even know what treason is, telling me, haha, you were wrong, Richard. Trump's going to be hung. He's definitely not, mate. Meanwhile, I'm fucking hung. Fuck off. If you tweet shit like that at me, you're a moron, right? I don't want to talk to you. But I can't blame you for being a moron because the media peppers you with this shit. So we're going to get to the Russian stuff. But all right. So Ivanka nearly killed by fucking Leon, right? Ridiculous. Let's talk about what they did to Sarah Palin. Right, now Sarah Palin in the media got branded a Nazi. Not she's a white supremacist. She's a sympathizer. She's a racist. None of that. An actual Nazi. Just, that's it. You've got the fucking armband. You've got the black uniform.
You're goose-stepping.
Yeah, you're goose-stepping around your apartment. Rouse, rouse, rouse. Why? What did she do? What did she do? She must have done something. You know, was she smashing a bottle of champagne on a concentration camp? And it's open again, everybody. No, she wasn't doing that. She used the phrase 14 words.
That'll do it.
Wait a minute, Richard. Hang on a minute. 14 words, though. Isn't that the thing for Hitler? Isn't the number 14 synonymous with Nazism? All right. You got me there. We've all been to 4chan. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at what happened to Sarah Palin. And you tell me if this is reasonable. Did Sarah Palin really tweet a neo-Nazi slogan? Seems not. That is an altered headline. You can see the original up here. Here's why Sarah Palin tweeted the neo-Nazi slogan 14 words. Do you see the difference in headlines there? Shame your website operates the way it does, Daily Beast. Makes it kind of hard to cover those little bigoted, lying tracks of yours. But did Sarah Palin really tweet a neo-Nazi slogan? Seems not. Yeah, it seems not now. Not what you said. And then look, update. This story has been updated to make clear that we lied. That's what it basically is. So Sarah Palin put this tweet out. Trump gives speech to the people of Poland, says 14 words that leave Americans stunned. Now, again, G20 was happening. Trump went to Poland. Rousing reception by the Polish people, by the way. They love him out there. He was on the front cover of all the magazines. Everybody loved to have him over in Poland. He got a great reception. The American press are trying to make you believe that Trump will not be well received around the world. So far, good, or rather much improved diplomatic relations with Russia, with China. He's addressed the North Korean elephant in the room, opened up dialogue with South Korea, Japan, and actually is well liked pretty much outside of that little kind of like globalist core of countries that are like, oh, but you did the Paris Agreement. Actually, Eastern Europe, Poland, countries like that think he's fucking baller. They love him. So, just putting that out there. Anyway, what she did is she said 14 words. Now, 14 words, in case you're wondering how that can be racist, you see, Hitler said this thing. He said a thing because Hitler said lots of things, and he said lots of disgusting things. And one of the things that he said that neo-Nazis like is he said, we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children, is what he said. And that was basically his take on the whole white genocide nonsense, which is white people are going to be bred out of existence if we let foreigners come and live with us. I mean, there's a genetic imperative there that he ignored, which is if racial purity was kind of biologically intended, why isn't it a dominant gene? Why isn't whiteness just inherently handed down? It doesn't work like that, does it? You get mixed race, and I find anybody that's like, we must preserve whiteness, I just think like, it's a bit silly, really, isn't it? It doesn't make any difference. That being said, I don't go the other way and think whiteness is an inherently evil concept, because that's just as absurd and just as ridiculous. But the phrase 14 words and the number 14 therefore became kind of a code for Nazis to show that they are down with the Nazi lingo. You would put 1488 is the number, for those that don't know. It's not a year. It's the 14 words, and 88 is the 8th letter of the alphabet, H, Heil Hitler. So you'll see 1488 a lot, like when Shia LaBeouf's He Will Not Divide Us thing got hijacked, and that dude went down and was going, 1488. And then Shia LaBeouf started shouting, you will not divide me, in his face, like General Zod in Superman. So anyway, because of this, the term 14 words has become verboten. You cannot say this. You cannot use the term 14 words. You're not allowed to say it. That's the reality. Yeah, and what Palin did was say, he said 14 words that leave Americans stunned. So people assumed she was making an allusion to the famous 14 words. And apparently, I don't think it was actually Hitler who said it, actually. I've credited it to Hitler, but it's...
Might not be the true author.
Yeah, I don't think it was Hitler, now that I think about it. But it gets attributed to Hitler because neo-Nazis don't really care about history. If they did, they'd probably find their position somewhat untenable. But point still stands. That's what it is in white supremacist circles. So, they went through the Daily Beast and they were like, well, fucking hell. Why would she say that? Why would she say 14 words? It's crazy. So it must be what cunts call dog whistling to racist, right? And they talk here in this article about Breitbart, the self-proclaimed platform for the alt-right. Steve Bannon called it that before you guys changed the meaning of alt-right to mean Nazis, you see. You can't really hold him accountable for that. He said, yeah, I think it's a platform for the alt-right, when alt-right meant young conservatives that don't fit into the traditional neocon values, which is what it always meant and what the person who coined the phrase meant it to mean. Then the media kept saying, alt-right and Nazis, alt-right and Nazis, alt-right and Nazis, alt-right and Nazis. And now you're like, haha, Bannon said it was alt-right. Yeah, didn't mean that back then. You changed the meaning of the word and then retroactively applied a stigma to him for saying it. That's absurd. So she said 14 words, right? But here's the thing. The young conservatives that the article links to, she was quoting a headline, wasn't even her phrase. They came out and said, the 14-word quote is this: let us all fight like the Poles for family, freedom, for country, for God. And it was there in his speech. I mean, you could have just gone through and gone, oh, yep, 14 words, yeah. So Trump did say 14 words that leave people stunned. But here's the thing. The young conservatives, if you look at all the headlines, they very often use it as an eye-catching tactic. They'll say it like, oh, what 7 words did so-and-so say? So it's like clickbait. And there's multiple examples of this on their website. And they pointed this out. They said about 2 minutes of research would have revealed how there is a long history of our site and countless others. And indeed, if you know anything about journalism, you'll see headlines like this all the time. Because what I do is I plant in your brain. If I say, 10 words, you go, fuck, what could, 10 words that change the world. And you go, fuck, what could those words be? You're more likely to click, right? So about 2 minutes of research would have revealed how there is a long history of our site and countless others using word counts in social media headlines. To jump to the conclusion that it's to do with 14 words, the white supremacist slogan, in your article is slanderous, dishonest, lazy, and very unprofessional and harmful to our business. And that's why at the top now, right, they've had to now say, we want to make it clear that the young conservatives did not intend to imply a connection to white supremacism. We regret any implication to the contrary. It's weird, isn't it? How you go all in and say, yeah, Nazi, Sarah Palin's a Nazi, the young conservatives are Nazis. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we could have just counted the words. Fuck. Should have probably done that. That is the standard of modern journalism. That's where you're at, right? That's what you're dealing with. So, see, I told you it was getting serious, Sam. You're just dead over there, aren't you?
Just listening, but.
No, you've had enough. You've had enough. All right. Tell you what, because we're going to go full Trump and Tariq Nasheed in the second half of the show, I'll bring it back. I've got some funny bits for you, right? I've got some funny bits. Because we just talked about Shia LaBeouf. He had a meltdown, mate. See what happened?
What, when he got arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we are then. So TMZ, we all love TMZ, don't we? I mean, look, here's the thing, actually. I will say this. TMZ know they're garbage.
Yeah, they just filled the niche.
They know they're garbage. I'm not saying that they're not garbage, because they're garbage, but at least they know and act like they're garbage. You know, it's not like BuzzFeed, who are garbage, but look, we just published this dossier with PP in it. It's real. I promise you, it's real. Definitely isn't, and was funded by the DNC, and now it looks like Senator McCain was distributing it around. Sorry, we'll get to Russia, right? But Shia LaBeouf, anyway, had a fucking meltdown, and he got arrested. Right? It is the thing. I've been saying this for ages. Mentally ill. Right?
100% is.
100% is mentally ill. And anyway, he got arrested because he was out in the small hours. And it was in Georgia. I probably could have gone out and found him. Would have been amazing. You know, probably should have.
Around looking for someone to help him. Help me.
Shia, he could have come here. He could have slept on my couch and got his shit together. I could have given him a stern talking to, saying, look, man, all this "he will not divide us" nonsense is driving you mad. Trump's not evil, right? And you've got to get it together. You were in good movies, Shia. Do you remember when Shia was in good movies? Do you remember?
Can you Google it to find out which ones? Because I don't know either.
Oh, I'm going to bring up his full filmography here, but like he was in A Guide to Knowing Your Saints. That's a decent. He was in iRobot, wasn't he? That's all right. Yeah, A Guide to Recognizing Your.
Really now, is it?
I mean, obviously, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, isn't it, that they did that? That Indiana Jones survived a nuclear blast by hiding in a fridge and Shia LaBeouf had a fight with a bunch of monkeys. It's unacceptable, and we should just pretend that that never happened. But he was in that. He was in the sequel to Wall Street, which was garbage. He was in the Transformers movie. The first one wasn't all that bad.
Disturbia.
And if you ever want to see genuine actors and actresses like sucking each other off and that, you can go watch Nymphomaniac. He's in that. Don't remember him doing any of that though. Lawless. He was in Lawless. That was all right. That isn't even that long ago. That's only like 4 or 5 years ago.
There you go. So he's had an all right career.
It's not bad. He's done all right. I mean, but here's the thing. He's definitely gone off the fucking rails, hasn't he? He's gone off the rails. Oh, and he was in Fury, and he went full method acting for it. He tried to method act, and like he wasn't eating and didn't brush his teeth and stuff. Just sounds like being a feet twat, but yeah, whatever.
Great method acting, man.
So yeah, he's done all right. You know, he's never had a fucking memorable role, but he's close. He's this fucking close. You know what I mean? So yeah, he can be saved, but he's got to get a grip of himself. He's got full-blown Trump derangement syndrome. And he got arrested. He was out wandering around Georgia in the middle of the night, right? And he was wrecked out of his mind. And I think he asked someone for a cigarette. And when they didn't want to give him a cigarette, he just had a tantrum, didn't he? He started, you know, probably it's because he thought Trump had divided them, and that's why he wouldn't give him a cigarette.
Why is he begging for cigs?
I don't know, mate. But no, but look, it's a problem, isn't it? If you're drunk and you want a cigarette and you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have any, it doesn't matter how rich you are or how famous you are, you can't fix that problem. But I mean, it wasn't that long ago, just prior to this, he got arrested in a restaurant, didn't he? He was having an outburst over a pizza or something. So I mean, he's on the downward spiral, like. Basically, this is the crossroads, isn't it? Usually you see a flurry of these incidents before they end up fat and dead in a bathtub. You know, that's like typically how it ends. But anyway, so he got arrested by some coppers for causing a scene in my fine state of Georgia. And anyway, he's just lost his fucking mind. In this video, which you're about to see, just listen to some of the shit he's saying here, Sam. It's mental. Hit me with a 3, 2, 1.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Because you're a fucking bitch to the end of your days, and you live that legacy. That's what you signed up for, bitch-made whore. If I have my gun, I'll blow your shit up. You're a bitch, though. So you got your shit, you do nothing. Except what, homie? Whore. Fucking bitch. Coward. Fuck you and your legacy. You got a kid?
Your legacy.
Hoso, so you can know what the fuck no-so is going. You're a bitch. For leaks. Not for years. A bitch for leaks. You're a pirate, bitch. Bitch. And you put your own kind in the fucking pen. For nothing.
Own kind?
You put a white man in the pen for what?
Oh, you just racist.
Fucking bitch.
I'm coming to that.
For asking for a black man for a cigarette? That's your country. I pay my taxes, you dumb bitch. You about to meet my lawyer, and you made this trip for nothing. And you feel like
he's so triggered. He's like, get me out of here.
Enjoy your life. That's your legacy, you fucking coward.
So, couple of things. I don't know what a pirate bitch is, Sam. I don't know what does that mean. You're a pirate bitch. What's he trying to say? What does he mean? Why is he a pirate? I don't get it. Like, and he keeps talking about his legacy and all that, and how the guy's bitch made. It's just ridiculous. And you can hear the copper there. He's thinking, fucking hell, these body cams. Because he obviously probably wants to give him just a few digs just to make him stop. But good on the officer for maintaining his cool and composure while being taunted in what is a long drive to the police station, and basically treating Shia LaBeouf with far more respect than Shia LaBeouf treated the police with. But you did hear a troubling line among there. Your own kind. What is... Now, a lot of people in the blogosphere went a bit mental over this, and Shia LaBeouf's, there was like, people were trying to say he was being racist or something. You know, that might be overselling it. Apparently, he also said later on in another video, he told him that one of the coppers was going straight to hell. So here's the other video. So this is kind of like what happens afterwards, right? So he's already brought race to the table in the first video. He's already said you're arresting your own kind. I don't understand why.
He said, yeah, you're arresting a white man. So even like doubled up on it.
Yeah. So here's the thing with that. You may recall right from the start of the show when the guy went, "Now get the fuck out of here." And he tried to use the old, I don't know it's illegal, now fuck off, to the cops get arrested for being swans. Turns out this doesn't work either. You can't just go, officer, look at this. We're the same colour. Can't arrest me. Doesn't work like that, right? That's the whole point. Police are there to police us all equally, right? So it is strange that he would bring race to the table. One of the arresting officers was black, by the way, and he was talking to the white officer while he was doing this. So yeah, bit strange. But anyway, so let's watch this next video.
3, 2, 1, go.
You can place your right thumb on that thumb scanner for me. Thank you, sir. Hey, you going to hell straight to hell, bro. That's not very nice to say. No, it ain't, for this real. You especially, Dabney. That's sad as fuck, man. Why, Mr. Dabney? Because he's a black man.
So?
It means a whole lot, bro. You mean you dumbass fucking sandwiches, you racist ass situation, won't take pictures. Fuck you. How are we being racist? Because you got me in here on a fucking hole from a black man who arrested me for being white in a city that don't have nothing to do with none of it. I'm sitting there, I'm having a cigarette, asking 3 black people to have a cigarette. Motherfucker want to call me a fucking racist. It happens just like that, my man. And it's super simple. You call me whatever you want. I call you anything. No, you ain't call me shit. You just got me sitting there in your dumbass shit for no reason at all. It really don't matter. It really don't matter what you're charging me with. It's your word against my word. Ain't my word. I have cameras there. That's the problem. I got videotape. You got your paper for the number? Yeah.
smooth moves at the end as well. You go, yeah, paper for the number. Nah, I dropped it. I'm wrecked out my mind. So here's what I will say as well. You ever watched a VHS tape recently? I don't know if you've ever done
Not
it.
super recently, but yeah.
Not super. Right. You ever notice how it would be like the audio? I can't believe it went for years. It'd be like people just going, and you're like, fucking hell, turn it up. And then someone will just crunch up a bit of paper and it'll be like, you fuck. Why did VHS do that?
I don't know.
And that's what was happening
quality,
there.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what was happening there. Ridiculous. Anyway, so a lot of people seem to read this wrong. And he said that the black man was going to hell because he's arresting people. So I don't think this is racist per se. I'm going to give Shia the benefit of the doubt here. I think what he's saying is, the old classic liberal meme that, how can a black man be in the police force? Which unfortunately is like one of the reasons why we don't have black people in the police force, because liberals are kind of like, but man, you're oppressing your own kind. Like, no, they're trying to actually do something good for society at large, and it shouldn't make a blind bit of difference. A black officer isn't going to go to hell for being in the police force, is he? I mean, that's a ridiculous assertion. And I suppose it's that kind of true reverse racism that liberals like to indulge in, right? Like we are going to tell black people what they can and can't do because we have your best interests at heart. Which is, for me, a far more insidious form of racism than the fucking slack-jawed fucking morons who, I don't like you because you got different color skin. Right? I mean, that's just retarded, isn't it? It's like a child. What color do you like better? Do you like blue or do you like orange? Well, I don't like blue. Prefer orange. I mean, that's basically racism. In a nutshell, isn't it? Like, I don't like that color. It just looks weird. Right. Okay. So you're a fucking moron. I can now discredit everything you say. So you grow out of it when you're 2, usually, And you. So anyway, it seems to me completely ridiculous, but this is the sad end of Shia LaBeouf, because he's now had to publicly apologize. It's the first time he's really addressed that he's been having a mental meltdown like for so long, because all of the "he will not divide us," all of that stuff, he was these were all indicators that he was mentally ill. And I'm going to say the same thing for Shia LaBeouf that I said for Kanye West.
Yeah, I was going to say he's gone full Kanye.
Yeah, look, now listen, it's bad that he said this shit, and it's bad that he brought race to the table while intoxicated. And look, he'll be forgiven for that by the liberal press because he's a liberal himself. And whether or not we want to forgive him is another thing entirely. But this is somebody who is seriously mentally ill. He's in the grips of addiction. He's got Trump derangement syndrome and probably his narcissism and God knows what else, and he needs help, and there's something kind of sick and twisted about the media in that they would watch somebody having this breakdown and nobody has said anything. I've not read one piece saying Shia LaBeouf is mentally ill, someone should help him. None of his friends are helping him, none of his family are helping him. All the people who stood by his projects, "He will not divide us," didn't help him. He's been arrested probably 4 or 5 times in 2017. This is not the normal life of a celebrity. This is somebody in mental crisis. Now, if this guy was homeless, you would have no qualms about sectioning him and hitting him with some heavy fucking drugs to try and fix his brain chemistry. He's a celebrity, though, so he just gets to continually spiral out of control until he's fucking dead. That's how it works. That's what we let celebrities do. We're like, well, yep. He's, and then we go, wow, isn't it weird how people who have all this money and all this fame and all these opportunities, isn't it weird why they always go off the fucking rails in higher quantities? Well, it probably isn't in higher quantities. It just seems like that because they're in the news and Joe Average isn't. This guy is sick. He's a cunt as well. I've got no doubt about it in my mind. And I find his fucking politics childish and pathetic. But that still doesn't change the fact that if I'm going to sit here and say Kanye is, in need of help, I've got to say the same for Shia. And I'll be consistent there. So he put an apology out did Shia LaBeouf. And I don't know if this is a mealy-mouthed apology or whether it's the start of him getting help or whatever. And he said, "I'm deeply ashamed of my behavior and I make no excuses for it." And he also says, "I don't know if these statements are too frequent or not shared often enough, but I am certain my actions warrant a very sincere apology to the arresting officers, and I am grateful for their restraint. The severity of my behavior is not lost on me. My outright disrespect for authority is problematic, to say the least, and completely destructive, to say the worst. It is a new low. A low I hope is a bottom. I've been struggling with addiction publicly for far too long, and I'm actively taking steps towards securing my sobriety and hope I can be forgiven for my mistakes." And honestly, they say this in addiction circles, that you've got to bottom out. You've got to hit that rock bottom before you can actually get help. So maybe this is rock bottom. I don't know. I mean, I think if getting arrested and making a fool of yourself and saying some possibly racist things is rock bottom, he should be very grateful with that, because, for lots of people it isn't. But certainly, hopefully it's the end. Shia will go away and get some treatment and stop doing stupid art fucking installations and complaining about the fucking president and saying police people are going to hell and blah, blah, blah.
Just screaming in people's face for no reason.
Indeed. Now, just before we go to the break, I want to give you an example of when somebody says something racist and there's no kind of contextual forgiveness for it. So there was a conservative politician who was talking about Brexit, and she got caught on tape. And she used the phrase, Sam, I don't know why, because I
saw this. This is mental.
Yeah, I didn't even know this phrase. So I don't know if it's a generational thing, or you have to have so much money in your bank account, and once you hit a certain level of wealth, the bank issues you. These are the racist terms that we like to use in our polite circles, right? But this is the BuzzFeed, because I bagged on them, and rightly so, because they're garbage. But here's the BuzzFeed coverage of it. This is a Conservative MP, Anne-Marie Morris, who happens to be pro-Brexit, so you can imagine, the pro-Brexiteers are racist. I mean, I think she just happens to be one in the just by happy coincidence. I don't think it's anything to do with Brexit or whatever. I think
it's more to do with her being conservative, to be honest.
Yeah, possibly. But again, I don't like to make sweeping generalizations. A racist is something.
But if we're doing them, let's not just blame Brexit.
No, yeah. So I'm just saying, a racist is something that is you're on your own. You can get conservatives, racist, liberal, racist. It's racism is its own insidious ideology, right?
Your own rat.
So, yeah, exactly. So, she said during a conversation in something that was recorded. She was talking about Brexit, and she said, "Now we get to the real N-word in the wood pile, which is in 2 years what happens if there is no deal." Now, I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase before, N-word in the wood pile, because I've literally never heard this before. But I'm gonna say this. There is no way to excuse that. There just literally isn't a way that you can frame that as being okay.
Even
because
if she was black, it wouldn't be okay. You're talking about the future of our country, and it's like, let me just throw in a couple of racial slurs.
But you can find this. It's actually got its own Wikipedia page. This slogan, right? And I'll link you to it. You can bring it up if you want. I mean, typically, the Democrats in America used it. I mean, people forget this. Democrats did used to be the party of the Klan and other things aside. But basically what it means is it is a fact of importance that is not disclosed. Something suspicious or wrong that is lurking amidst the facts. So in other words, the black person in this instance, the N-word, is the wrong thing. He's hiding in the wood pile. How do you fucking excuse this?
How do you even say that, man, without thinking? What?
No, I know. It's so insane to me that this is how a politician would speak. So she said, obviously when the recording surfaced, she said the comment was totally unintentional and said, I apologize. I mean, how is it unintentional?
Worse.
Yeah,
that means you just say it offhand.
Yeah, I thought it was all right, actually. Right?
Gone from Nigel Farage. I would wager that most people would call it.
So she said the comment was totally unintentional and apologized unreservedly for any offense called. And, you know, it's, I don't know what to say here. Like, you gotta go, haven't you? I mean, you gotta resign. Like, you gotta.
Yeah, peace forever.
Yeah, that's that. Like, you can't be involved in politics where you represent, you know, black people if you think that phrase is in some way socially acceptable. I mean, she's only 60, Sam, right? Like, she's not some 90-year-old wealthy person that maybe did live in a sort of different time. She's only 60 years old, just turned. So, I mean, I can't think of any context where you would hear that phrase and then be like, yeah, well.
Sounds reasonable. I'll start saying that when I go to meetings.
Yeah, I'll start saying that while I'm talking about Brexit, shall I? Interestingly enough, though, I thought this was interesting. There's actually been support for her. No, this is true. I'm going to show you this video. I mean, you see, now here's the thing. I don't support witch hunting people out of jobs for things they say, provided there's some sort of context or whatever. And, you know, I suppose on the one hand, you can say it sucks that, like, it was recorded. But, I mean, this is like a meeting with politicians. This is politics. She's in public office.
Yeah, she represents MP. She represents the people. Many of them will be black. Yeah.
She represents me. She represents black constituents. She's talking about the future that involves me, black people, you know, this. I'm saying that's not okay. I don't want that to be. I don't want somebody that thinks like that to represent me, and I believe I'm entitled to some sort of say in that, right? Like, so I'm saying, I'm not saying she should be like hounded to the ends of the earth, killed, imprisoned. You know, I'm not saying any of that, but I don't think she's fit for public office if she thinks that phrase is acceptable, as in a acceptable way to describe. These are the facts, and maybe we can't see one of them. Yeah, why does that fact have to be the M word then? You know, like, what does that mean? But look, they actually managed. This is the BBC as well. They found a black businessman to come out in support of her, and again, just play the video. It's pretty interesting.
3, 2, 1, go.
My name is Wilfred Emmanuel Jones, and I'm better known as the Black Farmer. I feel sorry for this poor woman.
Why is that his nickname?
I guarantee she would not even.
As if he's the only one.
It wouldn't have crossed her mind that what she said was racist.
And then we get to the real woodpile, which is in 2 years. What happened? There is no deal.
She's learned a pretty harsh lesson from that experience, because being monstered by the press is not a good experience for anybody. It may be a reminder for people of a certain generation that actually they've got to be careful what sort of language that they use, because it could be totally misinterpreted.
That's what the young people doing it, mate.
Get me cross. Because you've got all these metropolitan liberals all jumping on the wagon to say how disgusting the words are and how awful it is to be using such sort of language. But I say this to these hypocrites. What are your records on diversity? What is your record in helping the plights of black people who can't get jobs and who can't get sort of housing? You know, it's all well and good to jump on the bandwagon because somebody was clumsy in their use of language. I would much prefer to have somebody who gets it wrong sometimes, but it's coming from a place of truth.
Will the Prime Minister please confirm he will support a further round of applications this autumn and that funding is available so that businesses, universities, parents and young people in Devon...
Jeez, looks mental.
Than somebody who is very sophisticated at playing that game. Because most people are tired of those sorts of people. And if you don't want those sorts of people, give people a break when they do mess up.
So, I mean, I think what we've learned here is he's a much better man than me because, you know, like I don't know if I want to necessarily sort of forgive and forget that and let that slide. I think there's something, like I say, it's not so much the phrase that's the issue. It's the kind of thinking behind it. But, you know, obviously this chap believes that, you know, it was one of those slip-ups and perhaps we should be more forgiving. You know, I don't know about that. But I thought the whole thing was interesting and, you know, an interesting sort of contrast to, you know, when people do hammer people for racism, you know, let's get it right. I think that's an example of where she probably deserved to be monstered in the press, honestly. Shia LaBeouf's, the whole hell thing, I thought that was maybe a bit of a very harsh and unfair interpretation, even though I think he's a prick. So there you have it. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break now, Sam. And when we come back, we're going to have Russia. A big slice of Russia. Are you ready for Russia?
Bullshit pie.
Right. Good. All right. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. And then we'll come back and we're going to start handling the Trump Jr. emails. We'll see you shortly. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Richard Lewis Show. Saw a few numbers drop off. We're sure they'll come back up because we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic. We're going to talk about Russia. But just before we do, we understand that, you know, sometimes the show can get heavy and a little bit serious. And we did start with some comedy. We know what you like. So Sam is actually going to show a clip of one of our favorite magicians that we've discovered on the internet. So just have a look at this. Guy's got talent, right? Guy has got talent. So, big fan. Big fan. So there you have it. Anyway, so hopefully that's lighting the mood a little bit. But let's get into it. Let's get into Russia. Now, we've covered the Russian story loads on the podcast. And, right, here's the spoilers, I guess. There's no Russian collusion. There's no evidence of Russian collusion. There was a fake dossier that was introduced into the intelligence community that we've roundly dismissed. I think if you go back a few episodes, you'll be able to see that. And it was basically created by a firm that now we're suspecting has ties to the Democratic a Democratic super PAC, basically. So this is for me, it's nothing. There's nothing there. Dare I say it? It's a nothing burger. You know, I don't think there is anything in the Russian collusion story. I don't think that's how you topple the Trump empire. I don't think that's how you get Trump out the White House, because we've had like 9 months now, just maybe, you know, less, but round about there, of just constant investigations, constant leaks to the press, FBI, you know, pressure from the rival party. And there's no evidence to support it. Meanwhile, there's loads of evidence that points to the contrary. I mean, even in authorized reports of the Democratic campaign, we've got, you know, proof that the Clinton campaign came up with the Russian narrative. And in fact, just to qualify that, because I don't know if we ever showed it before, there was a book called Shattered, is what it was called, and it came out in April. And in the book, it basically, there's like a bit where the person who wrote the book actually said that, oh, look, they made it up within seconds of losing the election. They decided that they were going to come up with this Russian narrative. So I've got the offending paragraph here, and you can see the strategy. It says here that strategy, that is to blame Russia, had been set within 24 hours of her concession speech. Mook and Podesta assembled her communications team at the Brooklyn headquarters to engineer the case that the election wasn't entirely on the up and up. You know, keyword there is engineering. For a couple of hours, with Shake Shack containers littering the room, they went over the script they would pitch to the press and the public. Already, Russian hacking was the centerpiece of the argument. That is 24 hours after Hillary Clinton had conceded the election. So there is so much evidence that there is nothing in this Russian story, nothing at all. And yet, I saw something the other day and I thought, fucking hell, all the liberals are high-fiving about this. They must have finally got them, right? And it was the New York Times had published basically a story that they were in the process of obtaining emails that proved that Donald Trump Jr. had a meeting with a Russian power broker, a Russian lawyer who was an advisor to the Kremlin. And in that email exchange, they had been offered dirt on Hillary Clinton. And everyone went mental and lost their shit about it. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty incriminating. Maybe there's something to this. I'll have a look. Now, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted the emails out himself. We'll come to that in a moment. But these are the emails, as we saw. And basically, Donald Trump Jr. was approached by someone called Rob Goldstone. And you can see here, like, in the course of this exchange, they had basically agreed to have a meeting with this individual. And I think, here it is. They suggested that they had information on Clinton, specifically dirt on Hillary Clinton, that would help with the campaign trail. So Donald Trump Jr. took this meeting. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, then. Slight problem. So, I mean, first of all, there's nothing illegal. I mean, this is just a by the by. There's nothing illegal about if I say to you, right, oh, hey, Sam, you're in an election campaign. I've got dirt on this opponent of yours. Do you want to meet and talk about it? Not illegal.
No. Isn't the only thing that could possibly be illegal is you can't go to a country and offer them like some sort of quid pro quo.
What the fundamental issue at the core of this is that they need to prove that a foreign government did this, which is hilarious because America is the government that has interfered with more elections globally and more regimes globally.
Yeah, did you see that Times magazine when they were bragging about it?
Yeah, I got that here.
The day.
Yeah, I got that here. You can bring it up since as you mention it. I'll link you to it. But look, let's be clear. America has interfered with elections as a matter of course. And when that doesn't work, when the clandestine intelligence way doesn't work, they just say regime change. They do a media offensive. They do false flags. They do whatever they have to do to get troops on the ground, and then they just manually overthrow and install a puppet government that's going to be good for about 10, 15, maybe 20 years, and then the cycle starts again. Once that person gets too uppity and doesn't do what he's told, regime change will happen again. America has a history of doing this. I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. I mean, the idea that America can be like, someone's interfering with our elections, mate, that's what you do all around the world. You're the world police, right? And here they were bragging. This is back in, I think, 96, how they helped Yeltsin win in Russia because Yeltsin was considered the person that was bringing in the spirit of glasnost. He was the Russian leader we could all get along with. Raging alcoholic. Certainly not a flawless Russian leader. Not like a Brezhnev by any stretch of the imagination. Massive storms coming in Atlanta. But this is what I thought was all a little strange. So it's got to be said just off the bat, right, that it isn't illegal anyway. That he took this meeting with this Russian lawyer even if it was on the premise that she had dirt. Now this is where it gets especially interesting. So let's just have a look at who this Russian lawyer is. Because, you know, if she's a power broker to the Kremlin, it's a big deal, isn't it? It would be a foreign power attempting to pervert and interfere with the course of an election. So we better have a look at who she is. Well, as you can see in this report by Bloomberg, Bloomberg had to reluctantly admit that the lawyer who met Donald Trump Jr. is no Kremlin power broker. Her name is Natalia you can see why I've been avoiding wanting to say her name. Natalia Veselnitskaya. I'm not saying it again. She'll be now known as Natalia for the rest of the broadcast. You know, and she is described as having connections to the Kremlin. Well, as you can see here, that's completely misleading. She doesn't have ties to the Kremlin. The red brick, I'll just read you the report. The red brick fortress at the center of Moscow is the wrong architectural landmark in which to look for the ties that made her a successful lawyer. The right building is a hulking futuristic glass structure just outside of the Moscow city limits, which houses the government of the Moscow region, the constituent part of the Russian Federation, which surrounds but doesn't include the city of Moscow. The Russian system of power, at least its all-important informal part, has always been all about levels. And we know this. We talk about Russia and how it operates with, you know, you've got like the KGB, secret police, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, politicians, you've got a premier, prime minister, a premier and a president. Russian President Vladimir Putin often uses the word to discriminate between matters that are worthy of his attention and those that aren't. The regional elites are several notches below the Kremlin, which explains Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov's snobbish reaction to news about this lawyer. No, we don't know who that is. We cannot follow all the meetings of all the Russian lawyers, both inside the country and overseas. So basically what this is saying is that while she did have ties to some form of Russian government, which you would expect from a lawyer and indeed a lobbyist, as I'm about to show you, in no way was she known or had any ties to the Kremlin. And actually, it was this email that was misleading. Now, it would be misleading because the guy who wrote it is just some fucking music producer, right? He's not even an important person. He's like just a publicist. So let's have a look at who Rob Goldstone is. I mean, Rob Goldstone is just some guy who used to produce music, and the only way he has like any ties to the Trumps at all is because his PR firm was involved with like a Miss Universe contest or something. That's how he even has the in with Donald Trump Jr. Now, what I'm supposed to believe from the liberal press is that Rob Goldstone, right, is a fucking power broker. He's somebody who is so embedded and entrenched with geo-global politics that he has ties to people who have ties to the Kremlin, and he's in a position to set meetings up to pervert and subvert the course of an election. Right, so let's be clear. First of all, Donald Trump Jr. has what is described as a casual relationship with Goldstone. He met him in 2014 at a golf course. He didn't meet him through any political channels or any political means, right? And Goldstone got in touch with him and basically raised this as a favor to a friend because he knew him, because they'd golfed together. So this guy is a fucking nobody. Right, he is literally just not that important within the context of the story. Yeah, I'm being told by the mainstream media, Rob Goldstone is a major player. This is a former music producer turned publicist who golfed once with Donald Trump Jr.'s son. Does this sound like the kind of political player that could be involved in Russian collusion or anything like that? No, it doesn't, does it? Because that would be an absurd presumption. So, okay, well, that's by the by. That's Rob Goldstone. The lawyer must be somebody, but we've just seen she doesn't even have ties to the Kremlin. Well, hang on, though. I mean, she represented it, that she did. Let's have a look. Okay, well, let's talk to her in her own words. Reporting CNBC. Keep in mind, I'm using media outlets that would love to tear some strips off Trump if they could. CNBC here. The Russian lawyer who met with Donald Trump Jr., denies she's connected to the Kremlin. She's not linked. She said herself she's not linked, and she said that maybe it's possible the president's son was looking for damaging information on the Democratic Party. She did an interview, and she said they wanted it so badly, I never knew who else would be attending the meeting. All I knew that was Mr. Donald Trump Jr. was willing to meet with me. So they had the meeting, and they were hoping, apparently, some compromising information, because that's what was represented by this lawyer and by Goldstone. Turns out, Sam, she doesn't have any. By her own admission. She lied to get Donald Trump in a room. Donald Trump Jr. So she said categorically, I had no compromising information about Hillary Clinton. Therefore, she couldn't give any compromising information to Donald Trump Jr. I mean, this for me is where the story should end. But here's what she did want to talk about. There was a law that was passed by Vladimir Putin that stops American families adopting Russian children. And it was done out of spite during tensions between President Obama and President Putin. It was a spiteful move that certainly doesn't benefit the many children of Russia who would like to get into good homes and perhaps even like to get out of Russia. But that's what she discussed with Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump Jr. rolled his eyes, was as polite as he could be, sat there for a few minutes, and then left. This is the meeting that they are saying is proof of treason. So she admits she had nothing. The contents of that meeting are now public knowledge. The guy who set up the meeting is a guy who golfed with Donald Trump Jr. once. Where are the players in this? What am I looking at? Yet the frenzy on social media and in the press that this caused is absolutely ridiculous. Now, just as an aside, just in case you needed proof that there is a double standard, Hillary Clinton's done this. The Clintons did this during this election campaign. They did it with the Ukraine. Report over at the Daily Caller. You can see here that's Tucker Carlson's old stomping ground. Everybody's forgetting the Clintons did the same thing as Donald Trump Jr. And you're like, no, they didn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be so stupid. But basically, just to give you the gist of this so we don't have to read you the full report, what happened was Clinton advisors and DNC operatives met with Ukrainian officials and Ukrainian embassy workers to find dirt on Manafort and Trump. Manafort being the communications. Paul Manafort is the campaign guy for the Trump campaign. So Hillary Clinton had a meeting with a foreign, her advisors had a meeting with a foreign power to get compromising material on two people in the Trump administration. One of them being Trump himself. During this election. This isn't ancient history. This happened. I mean, it seems to me insane that we're not talking about this. But of course, why would we? They did a report on it about how the attempts had backfired on Politico. And we know Politico's just become another fucking anti-Trump blog. There it is. This is legit. This happened. There's no autistic screeching. There's no calls for anyone to be impeached. There's no calls for any FBI investigations. The Clinton campaign spoke to a foreign power about what they could do to find dirt on Trump and one of his senior advisors and campaign coordinators to stop them getting elected because they were worried about pro-Putin, pro-Trump relations. This is a fact. So nobody cares about that. Meanwhile, all right, can you say setup? Because you're like, why was this Russian lawyer with ties to the Kremlin just rolling around America, just having meetings? I mean, it seems weird, right? You would want to keep, if one of your principal fears is keeping Russian power brokers away from your country during election times, because they've said in all of these investigations, Russia's been on our... Here we go. Here's the storms.
Russia losing power.
Right? Listen to this. Atlanta, brother. It's great down here. Right? So, you know, if you've said during these investigations, Russia's been an issue for years, we've been following this for years, why would you let a Russian power broker in your country knowing that she's got the potential to subvert stuff? Well, they did that. And do you know who did that? Obama did that. So, report from the Daily Mail. Obama's Justice Department gave the Russian lawyer special permissions to enter the US without a visa. This is a setup, Sam. This reeks.
Yeah.
So, Obama's Justice Department gave this supposed Kremlin power broker permission to enter the US with no visa, no correct paperwork, just a few months before she decided to meet with Donald Trump, during the time when all this surveillance and wiretapping and everything else was going on. You can see here, in late 2015, she was also granted special permission by Loretta Lynch to enter the United States. In June 2016, she met at Trump Tower with Donald Trump Jr., and the campaign chair, Paul Manafort. The meeting was arranged with the apparent promise that she would provide dirt on Hillary Clinton. And if you look at the emails, it's like meeting regarding Clinton, meeting, you know, Clinton is mentioned in it loads. It doesn't even seem to fit. Keep in mind, they didn't discuss anything to do with Clinton. And you can see here in another separate report over at thehill.com, she was cleared into the United States under extraordinary circumstances that we don't know what they are. What possible extraordinary circumstances could there be to let a Kremlin power broker and lobbyist into America just a short time before she's meeting Donald Trump Jr. with an election looming? So very interesting, isn't it? You can see here as well, she's pictured seated in the in the front row, directly behind the U.S. ambassador to Russia, Mr. Michael McPaul, at the House Foreign Affairs Committee. So she was just chilling there with the House Foreign Affairs Committee, just chilling. Hey, what up, Kremlin power broker? Welcomed into American politics, welcomed into American government, rules bent so she could be there. Makes you think, Sam.
Really
Why would...
makes you think.
But again, these facts conveniently ignored. Conveniently ignored. Now, there have been calls for sanity. There have been calls for sanity. Right? But not many of them. Now, I'll direct you to Glenn, I think it's pronounced Lowry. What he had to say about it, he's a political analyst and economist, an academic. This is Glenn. So he said on his Facebook page here, right? And, you know, I shouldn't need to mention this, but just keep in mind, he is black. And Trump's meant to be the most racist and evil man who ever existed. So, you know, just putting that out there. I shouldn't have to, but that's the stakes. That's where we're at now. Liberals, thanks. I can't just give his credentials. I have to throw his colour in as an extra credential because you're constantly fucking race baiting. Now, this is somebody who's been highly critical of Trump, right? Understand that. This is by no means a Trump supporter. And he said, today, I'm going to talk about why I am, Glenn Cartman Lowry, an inveterate contrarian, remember, so unenthusiastic about the Trump-Russia collusion story. Sorry, friends, but much to the disappointment and distress of many of my beloved acquaintances and valued associates who are obsessive and frenzied over this evolving episode, I just can't jump onto this bandwagon, at least not quite yet. Here's what I wrote to a close associate recently in an attempt to explain myself. Dear name omitted. Here's my contrarian take. The real questions of our time are not the legal or character defaults of a P.T. Barnum-type business hustler who managed to get himself elected president of the United States. The real questions are deeper. It's about nationalism, about cultural change, about enduring the social and economic dislocations of modernity. The country's reckoning with these questions is part of the process which has led to the election of Donald Trump. Something really important is happening, I think. The tectonic plates are shifting rightward on every continent. Too few are talking about what's actually happening. I'm trying to understand and appreciate the impulses behind this shift. Did people vote for a guy who promises to build a wall on the Mexican border? The idea is absurd on its face. There's no way that this could be a rational policy. What are these people telling us? And more importantly, what do we have to say to them in return? Moreover, I fear this reaction to Trump in part because I think it could succeed. And if it does, that would augur a division in this country deeper and longer lasting than the rift which occasioned the Civil War. If Trump is assassinated, for instance, the unrest will be a lot more devastating than a few riotous nights in a dozen American cities. The streets will run with blood. The forces that have resulted in Trump must be defeated at the ballot box and in the court of public opinion, not by an end run around democracy. Finally, I am growing tired of the prevailing reformist ideology on race questions that is illustrated by your friend TNC. It's wrong-headed. On the campuses, simply inane. Left liberals, sorry, just don't have any answers. I've concluded. I'm profoundly disgusted by their temper. Theirs has become a sanctimonious posture, devoid of genuine moral resonance virtually across the board. This fact that the left has found nothing useful to say to the present political moment, nothing but to scold, impresses me deeply. I'll stop. But in my contrarian view, I'm stunned and frightened by this Russian collusion witch hunt and by the relish with which the left have seized upon it. Ironically, I see an analogy in my mind's eye just now with the birther slander against Obama. Not with the claims of his foreign birth, but with the subtler claims of his hating America. The characterization of President Trump as a traitor reminds me vaguely of similar reactions to Obama. One can easily imagine how this kind of campaign will be waged from the right against the President Obama, particularly if he had been 25 years older when he ran, with a life of accomplishments behind him that had taken him to every corner of the world. The associations and collaborations he is likely to have engaged in could, given his background, readily become fodder used by right-wingers to buttress their false claims that he would betray his country while in office. Of course, it's not the same thing, but as I see it, something a bit like that is happening right now. As far as I know, no crimes have been committed here. This looks to me like a dangerous witch hunt. These investigations should be brought to a prompt and definitive conclusion. Indict somebody or go home, I say. And to Democrats, my message is, if you persist in relying on trying to undo the 2016 election by forcing Trump from office, instead of devoting yourselves to finding a way persuasively to respond to the underlying forces and structural shifts that led to his emergence, then you'll doom yourselves to irrelevance for a generation. Best wishes. That, to me, Sam, might be one of the most important pieces of political writing I think I've read in a long time. And this is from somebody who dislikes Trump. This is from somebody who cannot abide Trump. This is from somebody that wants the Democratic Party to defeat Trump. And yet he says the Russian story is garbage, that they must fucking focus on something else, that they must absolutely change the way they are doing things. But they're not. Right? I mean, they're not wanting to do that at all. I'm now going to show you what the reaction to this Donald Trump Jr. nothing is. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. I mean, first of all, let's just have a laugh at the guy who worked on the story. Because, look, I'm a journalist. I should be sympathetic, but I've told you a million times, I don't even like calling myself a journalist anymore in this day and age, because it carries with it a certain fucking connotation that I am the same kind of scum that the average journalist has become. And I'm not interested in that. There are moderate journalists out there. You know, Michael Tracy is a good example of one of them. You'll often see me retweeting this stuff. We've had him on the fucking show. The point is, unfortunately, the average journalist has become a fucking insane leftist demagogue activist. They have no interest in publishing the facts, no interest in the truth. They just want Trump out by any means necessary. So imagine how fucking lame you have to be, how pathetic and servile and wretched you have to be if Deadspin, one of Deadspin's verticals, are mocking you. And this is about Jared Yates, or Yeats Sexton, who tweeted that he'd been working on the story for ages, but Donald Trump Jr. ruined it because he tweeted the truth in an act of complete transparency, by the way, which should be expected from people in public office, not Donald Trump Jr., who, by the way, in case people don't know, we didn't elect him. He's not in power. He's not in office. He's the son of the president. So, and he was still completely transparent with this. Interesting, isn't it? I'm trying to think, Sam. Has there been a political figure recently who has lied and obfuscated the truth and, I don't know, maybe deleted and hid emails? I can't think of one. Can you?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, never heard of that. Bizarre, isn't it? But meanwhile, this fucking vacuous nincompoop, all he could do was cry about how he'd been scooped. Not that, hey, well, actually, transparency's good. Maybe we'll get to the truth of the matter right now. Look, I chased this story for a year, and he just tweeted it out. And then he did it again. I worked on this story for a year, and he tweeted it out. Like, I spent hours and days and weeks and months, and his son just hit tweet. I tracked down sources, followed so many dead leads, labored over this, and then he just, tweeted out the proof. Right.
First of all, you've wasted all your fucking time.
First of all, you didn't do any of those things. Stop fucking lying. You fucking pig. You fucking disgust me. You didn't do any of those things. There was a team of people dedicated to this over at the fucking New York Times. You later had to concede that they'd done most of the work. This is the posturing that these people do. I was the one that was going to get Donald Trump. It was meant to be me. Let's have a look at this cunt's bio, shall we, right? This is a supposedly... Keep in mind, there is still something to be said for at least, trying to be impartial as a journalist, okay? But, but if you're going to declare your biases up front, maybe you can be forgiven. Look at his bio. See if you can spot, right, where the issue might be. Writer, Hoosier, assistant professor of creative writing, previous work in the New York Times, New Republic, and Politico. The people are going to rise!
Does he know how democracy works, by the way?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be about 50-50, mate, if the people do rise.
The people are going to rise. The people are going to rise. The people aren't going to fucking rise, mate, okay? Because the people voted for fucking President Trump, you fucking arsehole. Here's the thing. You are at loggerheads with the people. The people don't like you. The people are against you and your kind. The people who would lie to them, deceive them. That's who the people are against, by the way. I know. I'm one of the people, you see. I actually leave my fucking, ivory tower now and then and talk to real people on the fucking streets. You don't do that. You're a journalist. You're a liberal elite. You know. So it was good to see him get fucking wrecked, one of the many. But let's just have a look at some of the ridiculous things that were going on. Okay, this is a fairly long clip. But I think it's important to just sort of see the hysteria. It's 6 minutes long, right? But we're just going to watch the whole thing. This is Senator Richard Blumenthal talking about the Donald Trump Jr. Meeting. And just listen to some of the things he says over the course of this. He's absolutely adamant that this is treason. It's not treason. I mean, again, it seems bizarre. I have to explain this. Donald Trump Jr. can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was an elected official or anything like that. He just went and had a meeting with somebody who said, yeah, I might have a bit of dirt for you, mate. And he got there, and then it was like, I was just lying, just said that I'd get you in the room. That's it. End of fucking story. He tweeted the emails out. That's it. She didn't even have ties to the government anyway that she claimed to have. It's the whole thing's a fucking joke. Anyway, just listen to this. Senator Richard Blumenthal, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning.
Now that we've all seen Don Jr.'s emails in black and white on the front page of the papers, where he expressed his interest and even enthusiasm about getting dirt on Hillary Clinton from what he thought was a high-level Russian source, what do you do about that? What is Congress going to do about that?
We are investigating not only Russian interference in the election campaign, which was extraordinary, unprecedented in its scope and sophistication, but also the potential Trump campaign collusion with that Russian interference. And these emails are bombshell evidence of criminal intent. Often the most difficult
what do you
element
mean
to
that they are
prove.
bombshells of criminal intent?
What they show is, as you said so well just a few minutes ago, interest and enthusiasm for working with the Russians on interfering in the election. And
well, hold on a second. I just want to press back on this because it's not criminal, it's not a crime to develop opposition research on your opponent.
Correct. Not if it comes from legitimate sources and it's obtained by legitimate means. If it's obtained by hacking into the DNC, which is a violation of law, it involves a conspiracy to violate the law and the intent on the part of Manafort.
Already proved Russia didn't hack the DNC, of course.
To be part
mentally ill, no problem. Continue.
You're
only a politician. I mean, you're only a senator. Do continue. Tell me more. Watch this. He goes fucking crazy. It's
whatever
unreal.
this meeting was that Don Jr. was trying to arrange.
The meeting was to obtain information. The hacking was the means to obtain that information. And there is more evidence that has to be elicited. No question that we're very far from criminal charges here and from proof beyond a reasonable doubt. But if you're asking what's the significance of these emails, it is criminal intent, which is often the most difficult part of any case to prove. You know, these words, I love it, will haunt Donald Trump Jr. I can see a prosecutor's closing argument repeating those words again and again and again because they show what the purpose and motive was of this meeting.
They show intent, but what's the name of that crime? What's the name of the crime that loves opposition research?
If you want the specific statutes that may have been violated,
they do not
18
exist.
United States Code 1030, which is cyber fraud and abuse, the other conspiracy statutes that forbid defrauding the United States government by interfering with elections
what is that
committed by the Russians.
Well,
no question
is it?
that the Russians interfered with.
What are you on about?
The
There
only
definitely
question
is.
whether Trump Jr., Manafort, Kushner, on behalf of the Trump campaign, were part of a conspiracy to do so.
No question.
Are you saying that in your mind this rises to the level that Tim Kaine suggested, Senator Tim Kaine suggested?
Bloody cyber fraud.
It could rise to the level of espionage and treason if it involves participation in a conspiracy to undermine the lawful functions of the United States government by a foreign power. Remember, Russia is a dangerous adversary who attacked the United States. I'd argue to you that it was an act of war by an enemy operating to try to interfere with our elections, the core of our democracy, an attack on this country, and to participate in a conspiracy to accomplish that end, in my view, could well amount to treason. Now, again, we are far from charges or indictments here.
Yeah. Because we have no evidence or
proof. Senator, I mean, what if this is what the White House says? The naivete of a political neophyte who met with somebody who misrepresented herself. She didn't have anything. She didn't proffer anything. She didn't offer up any sort of oppo research or anything. And it all kind of disintegrated when they got in there.
Well, a conspiracy need not accomplish.
What if it was the truth?
In effect, the ends here to interfere with the election was accomplished, maybe not in this meeting, but again, the meeting itself was part of a larger train of events, part of a mosaic and a process.
Mosaic!
Put together that
What are you on
I know
about?
from my own experience as a federal prosecutor, not always easy to do so.
I'd love to see what this cunt does when he's alone.
Show a
Just imagine if you're this fucked in the face. Honestly, it interests me so much. What are you like?
He's one of the more reasonable Democrats, mate. When it comes to this Russian thing, I'm going to show you some more mad shit.
I know you talked to the FBI director, the nominee for FBI director, Christopher Wray, yesterday, and I know, correct me if I'm wrong, that you will support him as becoming the FBI director, but you said in that conversation that you foresee a firestorm brewing that will threaten the FBI. What does that mean?
That means, very simply, we may see a repeat of Jane Comey being fired. The threat to the political independence of the FBI, the threat to its integrity and its dedication to the rule of law may again be threatened, especially as its investigation through the Council comes closer and closer to Donald Trump himself.
That's Comey who leaked. That's Comey who leaked documents he wasn't allowed to leak. By the way, we all love Comey.
If the president demands a pledge of loyalty or asks you to go white on someone,
how dare you fire a guy who's leaking information?
Unequivocal and very convincing, not only in that hearing yesterday, but also when he spoke to me privately that he would resign. And he also said very tellingly that the investigation ongoing by Special Counsel Mueller is not a witch hunt. The president's called it a witch hunt, but Christopher Wray, the next director of the FBI, I hope, has said it's no witch hunt. It should be pursued vigorously.
Senator Richard Blumenthal, thank you very much.
We can kill that there. Now, look, here's the thing. It definitely is a witch hunt because, like witches, who weren't real, neither is Russian collusion, you see. But that hasn't stopped the Democrats going absolutely fucking bonkers. Have a look at this little gem that I'm about to send you. This is mad. I mean, this is the extent of the fucking depravity and delusion that the DNC have been mired in for so long. This is a Democratic strategist called Paul Begala went on CNN and said we should bomb Russia. Right, to respond to their election meddling.
Well,
I mean, has anyone ever heard of like these things called world wars? It's, you know, they're pretty intense. So he went on CNN again and said he was on like the Sanderson Cooper show that he did, and he basically said that, you know, we should absolutely bomb Russia. You know, that there was a
reasonable.
There was a thought there. He said, we were and are under attack by a hostile foreign power, and they seem to be abetting that hostile foreign power. We should be debating how many sanctions we should place on Russia and whether or not we should blow up the KGB, GSU, or GRU. These are all Russia's foreign military intelligence agency. And we should be retaliating massively because, by the way, if I were a Trump supporter, I would want to retaliate massively because it has tainted his victory. It's tainted his victory because you guys have made it up. You know, you've lied about it consistently for 9 months. So, yeah, he's saying we should, you know, bomb Russia. So, okay, well, it couldn't get crazier than that, could it? Well, actually, there's a Democratic representative. He implied if he sees Donald Trump, he will maybe kill him or commit harm to him over the Russian, you know, interference. I'll link you here. This is the main Republican Party captured these tweets from a Democratic representative. You can see here. And it's the second one. It's the Facebook post. This is from the Democratic representative, Scott Hammond at Maine. He said, I just can't deal with you ignorant people anymore. Trump was installed by the Russians. That's Trump, by the way, that went and had military interference in Syria against against Putin's will. So, I mean, you know, already the puppet has supposedly rebelled against the puppet master. Of course, it's all fiction. I just can't deal with you ignorant people anymore. Trump was installed by the Russians because they wanted to undermine American democracy and embarrass our country. Mission accomplished. Mentally ill. Trump is a joke, and anyone who doesn't have their head up their ass understands that. The way he talks about, and two women, that alone disqualifies him from leading anything. Oh, we're going to rapidly shift the goalposts here. He's an admitted rapist.
Is he, though?
This obviously refers to the grab by the pussy thing, which, again, what he said was when you're a celebrity, you can do anything to women. They'll let you do anything. You can grab them by the pussy. He didn't say he'd grabbed anyone by the pussy. There's no evidence. Nobody has ever substantially come forward with any charges that have been proven, unlike Bill Clinton, by the way. One. Yeah. But again, we can't talk about that. That's conspiracy theory. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory, right? Trump is a joke. And an admitted rapist. He inserts his fingers into women against their consent. Would you be okay with leaving him alone in a room with your wife? I mean, he's in room alone with everyone's wives, world leaders' wives. He's anti-American, criticizing war hero John McCain. He has no understanding of foreign policy or military strategy. He's an out-of-the-closet racist.
Is he though? Is he though, Scott? Mate, think about it before you write it down.
No.
Is he though?
No proof at all of that. He's a liar. Literally everything he says is to reframe reality to fit his narrative. Conversely, President Obama ran quite possibly the classiest two-term presidency in U.S. history. I mean, think, what was it, the statistic? He killed dropped a bomb every 8 minutes or something. Yeah, real classy. No scandals. That's because the Democratic media complex didn't write them up. There were plenty of scandals during the Obama presidency, if you remember them. He actually imprisoned some journalists, and he did a bunch of shit. You can go out there and find it yourself. There were definitely scandals on Obama's watch. You can't be a world power and not do shady things. No scandals. Successful commander-in-chief. 0 rape victims. I mean, only the Democrats could hold that up as a standard.
Yeah, we have approved from last time.
Yeah. 0 rape victims this time. Someone say my name. I just got some cigars. Who could
all right.
Oh, he's so cool, though, isn't he? Right. 0 rape victims, and he improved the economy month after month in terms of unemployment, GDP, and stock market. I mean, stock market now at a record high again under Trump. Guess we don't talk about that. Guess we don't talk about all the financial improvements that have gone on. And people are even trying to imply Trump can't take the credit for this. It's all Obama. It's like he's been in for a while now, whatever. And he did all of that despite opposition from the racist Republicans who would not let a black president succeed. They even opposed funding for anti-terrorism efforts and services for veterans, which Democrats had to fight to get funded. Unpatriotic pricks. Republicans allowed nothing through, so Obama's only opportunity to improve the country was the beginning of his first term. Yet he still managed to bring down the uninsured rate, prevent people from dying or going bankrupt just because they got sick, ended wars, restored American dignity after our finger-painting president killed foreign adversaries instead of giving them a reach around at the G20. And he did it all with class that the Trump crime family knows nothing about. Don't like the truth, can't handle facts unless they come from Breitbart or Anonymous or your drunk uncle. Well, then fuck you, snowflake. Liberals reclaiming that word snowflake again. He's the one having a breakdown on social media. You're the snowflake. You're a fucking pussy. This is a politician. And you people are destroying America. Some of us are educated. You're a moron as well now. That's the contempt that Democrats have for everyday people. And actually follow current events. 100% of intelligent Americans agree that Trump is a complete loser. Must have took that poll when I wasn't looking. But go back to clinging to your guns because you're afraid, pussy. See, it's not only Trump supporters who can talk like complete assholes. As long as what's coming out of that side, then I'll match you dumb fucks word for word. Trump is a half-term president at most, especially if I ever get within 10 feet of that pussy.
Ooh, are you threatening to kill the president, mate? Are you threatening to give the president digs?
Are you? Yeah, have you just done something?
Have you just physically threatened the presidents of America? Prison. You're going to prison, all right.
Have you just committed, a federal crime? It should be career suicide. I mean, he's issued an apology so far. He doesn't seem to have been cast out of office, which, again, that's just par for the course, isn't it? These are the times in which we live, where Democrats can get away with doing anything. The media can call for you to go out there and kill Republicans, and when somebody attempts it, they go, oh my me, it's nothing to do with us. Maybe if Donald Trump wasn't so racist, people wouldn't be trying to shoot him. I mean, this is the nonsense that we live in. This is the modern political landscape. It's absolute garbage. Everybody should be appalled. That's a politician saying he will kill the president and end his term early. What happens to him? He can't be punished or imprisoned, and then the media will go, see, Donald Trump is corrupt and evil. We just got to take that on the chin. These are your elected representatives. Remember that when 2020 comes rolling around. Anyone who casts a fucking vote for the Democratic Party in 2020, this is the shit you're signing up for. Right? I'm saying that as a liberal. You shouldn't reward these people. Meanwhile, of course, get this, and this is just to end the political segment, and then we'll go to some fun, and we'll end the show with a bit of Tariq Nasheed. Here we go. The Democrats admit they've got no message. They admitted it. They admitted all they have is being anti-Trump. You can't make this up, mate. You cannot make this up. This is true. This is the Associated Press, right? Dems still strive to tell voters what their party stands for. So they got asked, right? This is the House Democratic Caucus Chairman Joe Crowley. They said he got asked in an interview by a journalist, what is the party's core message? What is the Democratic Party's core message? Do you know what his answer was? That message is being worked on. How can you be a political party with no message? How can you not know what the fucking message is? How can you not know what you stand for?
And even if you don't have one that's written down, you should be able to say, like, if you ask what are your beliefs, you should be able to tell them.
Look at this. We're doing everything we can to simplify it, but at the same time provide the meat behind it as well. So that's coming together now. So this is the number 4 House Democrat, and he admits that his party likes a clear core message, even amongst Republican disarray. And this is key. Remember here, this should be a great time for the Democrats, because there are Republicans who do not support the Republican president. This is the time you should be sowing seeds and trying to win over moderate Republicans that don't support what Trump stands for. Absolutely can't do it. They simply can't do it. They do not have a message. Now, by their own admission, they do not have a message. If you ever needed to know why, when Donald Trump says all they are is obstructionists, he's not lying. He's completely right. They have just pounded Trump. They're opposed to everything Trump stands for, everything Trump does, everything Trump says, and that's that. They haven't got any ideas beyond that. Why would you elect a party that basically is openly admitting that? So anyway, that is the fucking state of Russia. It's a complete fucking joke. There's no proof of Russian collusion still. There is no proof of Russian collusion still. There is nothing in those emails. The person wasn't a power broker. They gave no dirt on Hillary Clinton. There's still no evidence of any Russian interference in the election. We're still waiting. Meanwhile, the liberals, let's fucking bomb Russia. Let's fucking kill Donald Trump. Their fucking box has gone, mate.
He's doing the old lip move.
Gone, mate. Their fucking heads have gone.
Louise Mensch.
Yeah. It's
everyone's a Russian agent.
They're out of their fucking minds, mate. Out of their minds. Anyway, it's time for our favourite segment of the podcast to close out the show. It's Tariq Watch.
Wash your ass, you got to wash your ass, you got to wash your ass, wash your ass, you got to wash your ass, you got to wash your ass, wash it, wash it.
So there you go. Tariq Watch, mate. We've got to keep an eye on him. We said we were going to do it. We said we were going to fucking keep an eye on this guy because he's out of fucking control, Sam. And I don't, he might be mentally ill or he might be trolling. I'm going to say he's trolling, so he's fair fucking game. But anyways, for those of you who missed it, right, he was having a feud with Bunty King. We brought this up. Bunty King is a Sikh YouTuber, I believe, who has, published, lots of stuff, kind of opinion, political stuff. He's in that skeptic community. He's been labeled some very derogatory terms by Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed says he's a white supremacist, for example. Another one of those crazy non-white white supremacists that I hear so much about. Anyway, well, he started issuing DMCA takedowns on Bunty King's videos, right? It started with the one that Bunty King actually had a clip of Tariq Nasheed in, which was well covered by fair use. It was like on his phone. So he scaled it down so it looked like he was watching it on his phone by the side of the pool while he was having a swim. He wasn't. It was just scaled down. So it was well within fair use. There's no way it could be mistaken for the original work. It was transformative in nature. It wouldn't impact on Tariq Nasheed's ability to earn money, and it was a commentary on something he'd said about the individual that had taken the clip and used video, but he issued a DMCA, and then he started taking down Bunty King's other videos. He started, they're all gone, right? He issued 4 fake DMCAs. Slight problem with that, mate. When you abuse the DMCA law, that is in itself illegal, okay? Right?
Yeah.
So there's that, all right? Then, on top of that, right, I mean, YouTube check this. I mean, the automated YouTube system is garbage. I mean, it's so bad, and it assumes guilt, which was why Bunty King's channel had the videos took down and was temporarily suspended. But upon appeal, they will look at it, and it turns out Tariq Nasheed didn't have a fucking leg to stand on. Right? So guess what happens next? For abusing the DMCA rules, Tariq Nasheed's channel gets shut down. Wrecked. So it's not even there. It's not even there anymore. So who do you think, in a moment of self-reflection, who do you think Tariq Nasheed blames for having his channel shut down? Does he think, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have abused the DMCA takedown process? You know, maybe I went a bit too far arguing with Bunty King. Do you think he does that? Nah, it's the white supremacists, mate. It's the white supremacists again. So Tariq Nasheed said, I did a video exposing a lot of these popular YouTubers and their ties to white supremacist organizations, and my channel was deleted. Notice that Facebook, YouTube, etc. will constantly censor black users, but they allow white supremacists to spew hate speech nonstop. Understand that YouTube makes money off of those suspected white supremacist vloggers who spew their anti-black hate speech daily. So he was a little bit upset, Sam. He was mad as hell. And it was made even worse because Ian Miles Chong, who's now over at the Daily Caller and has been in the Sun newspaper recently, he did a little write upon it, which drove Tariq fucking crazy, as you can imagine. In there, he also points to the fact that Tariq Nasheed has labelled him a C word, which is, in other words, that he's a race betrayer, which is bizarre. Meanwhile, of course, as we've seen on previous episodes, Tariq Nasheed said that Bunty King would strap a bomb to himself because he's from the Middle East. That's not his belief system, and that he would steal his camel. I mean, you know, it seems kind of a little bit weird, isn't it? That you would be like, yeah, you're betraying black people. Meanwhile, I don't recognize you as black, and I'm going to steal your camel and make some jokes about you being a bomber. So a suicide bomber seems reasonable. That's Tariq Nasheed, everyone. Racist strategizer. How can we end racism? Start with you. Just start with you, maybe. Might be a good thing.
If you stop calling people race betrayers, that'd be a good start, Tariq, mate.
But he was so fucking mentally ill about it, mate. He got so mad triggered, right? This story's so good. It's vintage Tariq. So great. He got so mad about it, right? He created a website, all right? And what he did was he created a website that he called the SWS database. Now, the SWS database, he said, stood for Suspected Words Database, which doesn't make sense because it wouldn't even be SWS.
That's just a lie, isn't it?
So the Suspected Words Database was supposedly used to collate information about people who used racist words on social media, and they were going to put it all in a database. And then you could monitor who they are. Now, I've got to give you an archive of the website for reasons that will become clear very soon. But here it is. Now, you can see he's got some entries of some people there. Bunty King, of course, front and center. Chris Reagan, right? And you can see there. Just have a look at that logo, Sam. Does it remind you of anything, mate?
Look. Yeah, it's a swastika, innit?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean? It's a swastika.
It's a swastika, is it? I think you're wrong, mate. You must be wrong. Because what Tariq Nasheed said was, it's definitely not a swastika. I mean, he said it literally isn't. You see. And then, right, because I know what he's doing, right? Because do you remember when the Keck flag was called a Nazi flag because it was an allegory? You know, it was like a play on of the Nazi flag because the left had said anybody who was for free speech was a Nazi. Anybody who was pro-Trump was a Nazi. So the Kekistani movement, which is the 4chan guys and all that, not a white supremacist movement. They said, well, fuck it. You know, if you're going to call us a Nazi, we'll design our flags and our logos like we are, but we'll make them very distinct and funny. So this is what Tariq Nasheed is doing. He knows it looks like a swastika. He's deliberately made it look like a swastika. And he's, what in his mind, he's playing us at our own game. Slight difference. And that is because your logo is a swastika and is inarguable. The Kekistani flag isn't a Nazi flag. You see, it's different, right? It inarguably isn't. I mean, these things can be argued. But he did go on Twitter to clarify his position. So you can have a look here and you can see. You know what makes the Nazi flag a Nazi flag? It's the Nazi symbols. You see, you know, it's like the French flag has the, you know, tricolor, right? And many flags have that, and they're different colors. It's the colors of France that make it a French flag. And it's when the others have the 3 stripes. You don't go, oh, you're copying France.
Get your own flag.
Yeah, get your own flag. You go, well, look, I've got the colours that denote my nation. And you can see here that, yes, the Kekistani flag is a deliberate, like, play on of the traditional Nazi flag, but it's a joke. You can see it's got the little hearts in the top there, which, just so you know, Nazi party wasn't a party of love. And you can see that it says Kek, the great frog god of Kek. And, yes, it's in that kind of iron cross symbology, but it has no red in it, so it's immediately different. And the key thing for a Nazi flag is having Nazi symbols involved, like the cross.
Webcam's frozen, by the way. Restart that. Start it
probably.
We keep going.
Probably the power cuts coming in. So the key symbols of the Nazi organization is the swastika. Obviously, it's a big one. It's an important one. That one, and that little iron cross thing that they got up there, the little cross. So it's not a Nazi flag, is it? Now he gets wrecked in the comments. He gets wrecked, as you can imagine. You can see people doing a direct comparison of a swastika to his logo. Do you see? I mean, do you see that? If you go down,
I got it.
Yeah, it's pretty convincing. It's pretty convincing, isn't it? Right? Like, it's pretty convincing. Why is Tariq still on the screen?
I was just changing it. There we go, showing it now.
You just got Tariq with alien eyes. Everything I've been talking about is that fucking Tariq Nasheed, on it, like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck you right? So you can see, right? You can see it. This is probably my favorite meme that came as a result of this. You can see here, right? Like, this is the full blur of. The full blur of it. Literally, you don't even have to do anything to the symbol to turn it into a swastika. But that's intended, as I said. He thinks he's being clever. He thinks he's playing us at his own game, but he doesn't understand the fundamental thing. Now, why is it called the SWS database? Well, the SWS, what that stands for is suspected white supremacist. This was very obvious, and it was a bit weird because there's people in that list, right? That it just doesn't make fucking any sense to me, right? I mean, Philip DeFranco was in the list. Notorious
alt-right leader Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, and here's the tweet where Philip DeFranco said, wow, Tariq Nasheed has gone from calling me a suspected white supremacist, that's SWS database, to putting me on a public list. Is he trying to get me killed? And you can see here, look, Tariq Nasheed's tweet. Everyone go register on the suspected words database and share your input and insight, swsdatabase.com. And there it is, look. And here's the key thing about it, right? Why is he on the database? Reasoning, trolling, right? It links, and for every entry, it links your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your Reddit page, your website, your workplace, and gives you a priority with which to deal, in how quickly to deal with you. And suspect type, it says, if you can see that. You've got this up on screen, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Suspect type. Online personality. So at this point, it's not quite a doxing database. He's deliberately stayed on the right side of it, but place of employment, That's a little bit out of the remit of what's okay and what isn't. And quite clearly, this is a collection of documents designed to be to harass people. That's what this is for. Okay. Now, you can go. You can't see this anymore. Like I say, there's a big reveal at the end. But he really went ham on it and tried to defend it. And you can see what happened immediately. He told everyone to sign up. He was even asking for money to fund this suspected white supremacist database. Devastated I wasn't on it. I don't think I'm on Tariq's radar, unfortunately, which is a shame because he gives me so very much, you know. But you can see some of the things in the forum.
Webcam frozen again. You're getting wrecked by the weather, mate, or something.
Yeah. I think we're actually getting like flickering lights and stuff going on.
No.
Yeah. So it's probably just power things. Right, let's try that again. There we go. So anyway, you can see like people are like, I think my boner might be racist. Tariq Nasheed threatened to rape me in my dream. Alt-right YouTubers and skeptic community suspected white supremacists. So it's just this mix of trolls and the serious that went in there, and he was really fucking going absolutely ham on trying to create this suspected white supremacist database. But anyway, here's the happy ending of the fucking story. The website itself got hacked. It's currently down. If you actually type the thing in, it should redirect you. But what it was redirecting to was an imager of Tariq's latest mixtape, Wash Your Ass 2. I've got it here, I think. Hang on, let me find it for you. Is it redirecting for you?
No, not for me.
Maybe he's trying to re-secure it and get it back. But I'll find the fucking thing for you, dude. Because it was pretty funny. Oh, hang on. Have I not got the image? I don't know if I do, actually. And I can't remember the exact link to it. But basically, it might just be getting DDoSed at the moment. But if you go...
Got it.
You bring it up. So, yeah, you can see it's the new hot mixtape. K-Flex, Wash Your Ass. This time it's a donkey in a bathtub. A different kind of ass. And you can see the swastika logo. It's just lurking in the background there.
A meme as well to wreck him with.
Yeah. So there you have it. So that's where the website redirects to. So it looks like the suspected white supremacist database was a short-lived project. He got absolutely fucking wrecked. So there you have it. So that's Tariq Watch. And we'll be bringing you more adventures from the mentally ill Tariq next episode, hopefully tomorrow, including he's gone on a massive diatribe about Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes movie, and how it's racist. I know, it's so mad. We haven't got time to do it. We've already done a long enough show, so long. I think we could even divide this into two videos to cream those ads, Sam. I don't know. But let's just quickly do some racist stuff. In the spirit of suspected white supremacists, let's bring up some things that are racist now. I had no idea, Sam. But you know who is racist, obviously, should be on the SWS database. Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's racist.
Oh, this was so fucking retarded.
Right, so Conor McGregor is racist because he engaged in some trash talk with his opponent Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, and he said something which people are saying is a racist statement, and that is that he said, "Dance for me, boy," to somebody, "Dance for me," and I'm kind of at a loss as to why this is racist. For me, if anybody knows people from Ireland, boy is like just their sort of go-to term of endearment.
Yeah.
And you want to watch yourself, boy. Are we going out for a drink tonight, boy? It's like that, isn't it? I'll see you later, boy.
Yeah, right, boy.
Yeah, you're all right, boy.
Come over here, boy. I'll give you a fucking tuna.
Boy is just the word that Irish people use, and
boy.
Even Mayweather himself has come out and basically said that this thing is completely, complete nonsense. But it hasn't stopped the left-wing blogosphere roundly condemning Conor McGregor. This is again this is called the Grapevine. It's another vertical from Deadspin and Gizmodo, Kotaku, those guys. And yeah, you can see loads of people kind of responding and saying, oh, because he said dance for me, boy, he's being racist. And that because he's from Ireland, he's more likely to be racist because Irish people are racist. And if you look at the comments, it's ridiculous. I mean, people are saying, oh, I Googled the term dance for me, boy. I had no idea it had a racist history. I mean, it just doesn't. It's just a collection of words. It's not racist in and of itself. And as I said, you've got to appreciate Irish culture and Irish idioms and Irish terms. The idea that Conor McGregor is somehow racist, I mean, again, I see no evidence for it. So it just seemed very ridiculous. But he's been getting absolutely hammered for being racist by these blogs. I mean, it won't bother him or Mayweather too much.
Don't they realize they're in a fight? Like, maybe, to get into someone's mind, maybe I'll call them a boy because that means I'm a bigger man than them and they are a small little boy that I'm going to beat up. Not, oh, he's racist. Yeah, I'm gonna emasculate him. That's like the whole point. So yeah, it seemed ridiculous, but Conor McGregor's racist. But this is the most ridiculous thing I've seen called racist for a while, Sam. We do segments on this show where it's like breathing is racist. This is unbelievable. I double and triple checked this because I thought this might be fake news, but apparently it isn't. Apparently this is a real thing. As my camera froze again, of course it has. Fuck me, getting absolutely abused at the moment with power cuts and everything else. So anyway, this is in Seattle. A councilman in Seattle has said that hosing away shit off the sidewalk is racist. What do I say to that?
This is real. This is real, and I'm going to tell you his justification for it. Obviously, where there's like homeless people and that kind of thing, you get potentially, excrement and urine on the sidewalk. I mean, if people have been to like New York, for example, on a hot day, there's certain alleys and certain streets that just reek of piss. Like it's just a fact.
Piss alley, mate. Everyone knows where the piss alley is in their town.
Exactly, and it's not just because of like homeless people who have nowhere else to go, and therefore have to like adapt and do things like that. I mean, drunks as well. Drunk people coming out. We've all been caught short. We've all had a piss on a street corner at some point in our lives. But anyway, there's a homeless shelter specifically where in Seattle, where the street reeks of urine and excrement, and indeed has chunks of excrement upon the street. And what people do is they come along with a pressure washer. And they hose.
Oh, is this a problem?
Yeah, and they hose. They hose the shit. And
Seattle government have to have a sit down about this. Like, we need to get some teams to deal with shit street.
This is the council member Larry Gossett said he doesn't like people power washing sidewalks because it brings back images of hoses being used against civil rights activists in the 50s.
Mentally ill. Mentally fucking ill.
Mentally ill, yeah. Completely unreasonable. And again, he goes on about it at some distance. You can read that article there, but there you have it. Power washing bodily fluids off the street so you don't have to tread in them or smell them is racist. It's just another thing right on the list. Right, Sam, we're going to wrap up the show. We've gone past our T-shirt giveaway.
Yay.
Can we randomly pick out the sub now and do it at the end?
I think so. Hang on, let me check. I gotta do it. I think Moobot can do it. Actually, I got an easier way.
Actually, I've got an easier way. Give it to ourselves.
Yeah. My easy way is we don't give it away.
We're going to do a Phantom Lord. And the winner is, bloody hell, it's you, Sam.
Whee! Free T-shirt piece.
Congrats. So, yeah, we've actually gone past the 275 to give away free T-shirts. So we'll do that on air. So come on, Sam. Drum roll.
I've got to set it up. Give me 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Fucking hell. This is like being Ricky Gervais.
I didn't expect ever cross
having a fill for 2 minutes at Live 8 or whatever it was. He's like, I'll never do the dance on stage. But what a fucking embarrassment. You're meant to be one of the leading stand-up comics in the world, and you have to do a silly dance. Like, come on. From The Office. Do, 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 do. Loads of people just trying to get in, subbing at the end. Fucking hell. Super Happy Feet just sub for 27 months in a row. Nice one. I'm sure you'll be in there. You'll be in the mix.
There you go.
Obviously, now it looks well sus if you win.
Yeah. Right, hang on. Almost there, mate. Almost whipped it round.
Getting missed calls as well. Don't even know who from. It's the old miss number, mate. Who are you? So...
There we go. Twitch
right.
giveaway.
Twitch giveaway.
Let it happen, then. Please happen.
Right.
It's just not working. It's just not working.
Sam.
Right, hang on. Let me restart them. What a boy.
People are saying we've got to show it as well for full transparency.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Okay, good. Right, good. Good, Sam. So, nice weather we're having. We've gone PGL, mate. We're having a major moment.
I don't get why this is shitting on my life. Why is this reasonable?
Come on, Sam.
Right, fuck it. I'm gonna use Moobot. All right, we're doing it now.
Okay.
Okay. I think I just got to give it a phrase.
A phrase?
Yeah, like something that everyone has to type. Let's do.
Hang on, but how's that going to work if it's subs only?
Because you put it to subs only, and then you say everyone type these nuts.
Yeah, but then what if the sub isn't watching, but they're still a sub?
No, it's only people who are type. What, you want to give it away to people who aren't watching as well?
Well, I mean, seems reasonable.
I don't know.
They've paid the money. It's your call. I mean, you know, we'll be giving another one away in like another 20 subs or something. We're already 5 into that.
Let's just give this away to everyone who's here.
All right, go on then. Okay, everyone's already typing D's nuts, mate.
Alright, there we go. Alright, if you want to enter the raffle, type ! Raffle.
Original.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, raffle it is. I'm waiting. ! Raffle.
There you go. Do that.
Raffle. Yeah, but hang on, I'm in it now.
Yeah, sorry, if you win, we'll just re-roll it.
I better not win, mate. That'll be fucking lame as fuck, dude. Oh, all the subs.
Give it a bit.
Yeah, we'll give it a bit.
Give you 30 seconds, everyone jet in.
We'll be able to do a show tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yee. Might have to do it earlier or later, though. I got to do something like
that. Yeah. I'll do it early. Thing is, I got to go into the studio tomorrow. I don't get out until... Yeah, I might actually not be that earlier. I guess we could start at 5, I'm hoping.
Alright, I'm going to draw now.
Okay. Let's do it. The big draw.
He just said it can't draw anyone from the... Oh, wait. Here we go.
Fucking hell.
Mate, this is a joke. There we go.
Right, who's it picked?
Is this a sub? Is this a sub, Robot?
We'll find out. Who is it?
It says asbesto gas mask.
Is he here? Let me find out, man. Yeah, asbesto gas mask is there. I've no idea if he's a sub, but asbesto.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he just subbed. Look, he just subbed. He was the most recent sub. Yeah.
What a cheesy cunt.
What a lucky cunt.
What a boy.
I'll screenshot it so everyone can see.
All right, good. Honesty and integrity. So get in touch with us, Asbestos Gas Mask. You got a T-shirt winging its way to you. He can pick which one he wants out of the lot.
Pick whatever you want and just give me your address and we'll deal with that.
All right. Looks like we've been hacked by the Russians. Oh, I thought you just put his fucking address up.
There he is.
Where he lives. Go kill him. I'll teach him. What a boy. Russian agent. So there you have it. So anyway, Sam, look, in the interests of what's been going on at the major, let's just kill the stream. I'm going to say goodbye. Kill it.